and gentlemen, I am standing with the winners of the Dota 2 Telkom DGC Championships, BBD Dota 2.
The GG is called. Bravado Gaming are your Telkom DGL Masters champions.
The Kings are kneeling right now because WRG are all over them. They're going to pull back. Odu, he gets off a really good ultimate, but the tornado disrupts it once more. Bravado's falling apart here. They're about to be facing Megas. It's done. The GG's called. WRG are your winners. WRG win DGL Masters.
And WRG take the championship. Well done to them, boys. The end of an era. And that is it. I don't think there's more. And your grand champions are Sinister 5.
And he's finally broken the curse. The man himself, Adestum there, shouting out above his team. The shouts of true victory.
You're watching the Telkom VS Gaming Dota 2 2019 Masters.
And RDK has finally done it. He finally will raise that trophy.
Oh my God.
Because this is it. It is decided. And that, ladies and gentlemen, that is GG! Goliath Gaming! What?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome back. It's VS Dota, and we're at it again. And we have some cracker games up for you this evening. Both are going to be streamed, so please make sure you do tune in. But before we go into those, let me just do some welcomes across the board. We got Crimson Tide, we got Fire, and we got Phoenix joining in the panel today. Let's go one by one, gentlemen. How are we doing this evening?
I'm good, and you?
Phoenix?
I'm doing good, and you, man?
Are you sure about that? Doesn't sound too...
Took a beating last night, dude. Have to be honest.
Rough. Fire?
It's still recovering. Everything's fine this side.
Good. That's good to hear. So, yeah, talking about you guys having a bit of a rough one last night. I don't think it was a rough one. I think those games are pretty close, but went up against WRG. Unfortunately, you guys dropped that 2-1. Any brief things you want to just add from that game? Things that how do you feel about it? Well, we don't want to go too in depth into the game. Sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can't be too upset with it. September hasn't played for 2 months or so, we're always going to be lackluster in that department. But the games were very close. We definitely did better than we did it against them in the past. But yeah, we were unlucky to lose that second game. We felt some control, but unfortunately, that TB with DD just obliterated us. So yeah.
Yeah, well, that unfortunately will lead through. Well, unfortunately for you guys, WRG are going to be going to the next round of the lower bracket, and they're going to face whoever loses tonight's games. And I can tell you what, that's not going to be an easy matchup for them. But before we get into that, Inexorable Carbon also played last night's Inexorable Gaming going 2-0. I don't think it was too much of a surprise for everyone. I think a lot of people were surprised to see Carbon go so far in the tournament, in fact. And we can definitely give them some props for that. But unfortunately, dropping 2-0. Any thoughts on that? Phoenix, do you have any inside information about NX or Carbon for us?
I felt like from our side, the team was with fights, everything was very one-sided, but it was mainly due to the fact we didn't practice at all. I think everyone could have seen that we were just online playing other games, or just chilling. The game, although even without practice, I think everyone did really well. Yes, sadly I had to use a sub for offlane. I'm pretty sure everyone knows Bump by now, but he hasn't been playing much at all.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's talk about tonight's games. Why not? We got the monsters, right? Energy going up against Sinister 5.
That's the one that everyone is here for.
Yeah, let's be honest, right? This is what everyone better note down in their diary. This is the game to see, right? Energy Sin5. Probably what we're expecting to see in the grand finals. Do we think they're going to be throwing everything at their games tonight? Fire, what do you think? Do you think they go all out? Do you think they're going to hold back a little bit here? Are we going to see the full potential of both these sides?
For me, I think it's a great opportunity to maybe test the waters with something in game one if you want to try and see if something is going to work all the way going forward.
or anything like that. But otherwise, I would say, just maybe try and stick with your strengths, try and stick to your guns, know what you're good at, play your game that you guys know and how to play against the other team. And then, when it gets to the finals, you throw it all out and make sure that you can play whatever secret strat you have all the way there. You don't want to reveal everything this early in the tournament.
Yeah, I can only agree with you there. And I think everyone's really looking for that matchup, that Adestam versus Castaway sort of matchup, and Doom Bunny versus it just goes on, right? I think these players match one for one. Do you guys think anyone has an upper hand, maybe skill wise, or do you think this is as close as people are assuming? I'll ask you, Crimson Tide.
Yeah, no, I think this game's going to be extremely close. I mean, it's pretty much all the best players in South Africa in two different teams, so it's going to be a crack of a game. I think a big points of where the match will go, I think, is going to be set out in that mid lane of Adam versus Castaway, because the mid lane is at the moment been setting a big pace or direction to the games. So it's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top and who can put pressure. Because I think the winner of the series will most likely be because of the mid lane's pressure.
Yeah, I can very much agree with you there. Fire, do you have any ideas maybe who might have the edge tonight? I think
I
this
don't know.
is
When you have a talented lineup like these two teams have, I think it's been difficult, and that's why we're all here, right? Why we want to see this particular matchup. It's the TKC, it is Castaway, it's Deppy, it's Doom Bunny, it's Adestam. It's just a lineup of people who are very talented currently from our region. So it's kind of the guys you look up to. It's kind of the guys you want to see face each other going forward. It's the ones where you want to have your team going in all the way. So I think it's more of a getting into who's the fan favorites than it is more of who the talents are at this stage. A lot of people are rooting for both teams, I'd say. So it's obviously the an early sort of idea of what we expect going further into the tournament, maybe some would say, but there's a lot of good talent in the tournament still, so I wouldn't count them out. But this is a sort of a small finals for what some people predict, at least.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that, and I think I want to just talk about the support roles, because there are players on either side that are very notable, that have been in the scene for quite some time. That of Doom Bunny, Schlinks, and then on the opposing side, Whelp, and I think TKC's taken on the support role. You can correct me if I'm wrong there. These are guys that have really made a very big name for themselves in the support role. I think notably Whelp. He was one of the top 100 players in Europe, if I'm not mistaken. In fact, I think he was top 10 at a time. Someone can correct me there as well. But this is sort of the unseen challenge. I play rugby, and I was always that forward who did the hard, grimy work and scored no tries. But it was because of you that we won the game. I always feel that way about these supports, and I feel like Whelp has that impact. Do you think these supports are this is like the best challenge they're going to have in South Africa against one another? Or do you think Whelp is just that much better than the lineup of supports? I think I'll ask you, Phoenix, because yeah.
I can't really say. For my experience of playing with Whelp and against Whelp, he's just a very versatile and universal player. There's nothing that's holding him down. And if I'm correct, he's playing offlane right now, or am I wrong?
Yeah, he's playing offlane. Yeah.
Is he playing offlane?
Yeah,
I think he's
Okay,
playing
yes.
offlane right now. And like I think I was speaking to MD the other day. He made a very odd comment. He was like, "In South Africa, we don't really have any proper offlaners, and Whelp is not even an offlaner. He's like his main role, I think, is like carry or mid. I could be wrong, and he's like one of the best offlaners in South Africa that we can say.
Well, he
So
didn't go see with maining a support role though.
Yeah, I think he used to play a bit
yeah,
of 4 for a lot of the teams he
Yeah, he
played
was
for.
playing
Yeah.
4 when he was in Southeast Asia.
Yeah, but he was also in Dota 1. He was so dominant on the POS 1. He was like the SA god, honestly. I can remember if you ever played against Whelp, you're like, okay, I'll look for another lobby. It was one of those situations. Yeah, but
I
I
feel like
think we'll
him
come.
being.
Yeah, sorry,
Sorry.
carry on.
I feel like him being a very universal player just gives him the upper hand because he just knows literally all the benefits, all the weaknesses, and all the advantages of literally the role. Like even against the carry or even the support, like he knows when to punish and when not to punish.
Yeah,
When
the
to
guy
be
made
aggressive and not.
the Immortal 13, so he's got so much talent
Yeah.
there.
That's
Yeah.
another good point to bring up is like the thing with the team synergies and how they differ between, because these players have played on the same teams as well in the past. So playing against and with some specific teammates, I think that could even be a good interview question to ask them, like, who do you prefer to team up with, or who's the better for you in these specific roles for some of these players. But having different team synergies, I think, makes a whole lot of difference, and that's why having a player like Welp, who is so versatile, gives you a bit of a, I wouldn't say an upper hand over the rest. It just makes your life a bit easier when you have to play against a team that's pretty much just as talented as the lineup you have.
I think you actually touch on something amazing here, because we were talking to both Castaway and Adestam in one of our panels, and they said they did the little swapperoo, right? Because Adestam was in Sin5 and Castaway was in Energy, and they just sort of just swap places, swap seats. And now there's no sort of advantage. Sometimes you're like, oh, or for example, if Adestam was playing for the one side for too long, or for a period of time, he'd say, I have some inside information. But yeah, both very important roles have very good intel about their opposing side. Do you think that's going to play as a factor? Do you think these teams have just devised strategies for this particular matchup? I did ask them this question, and they were very sort of wishy-washy about it. They didn't want to let go of any of their secrets. But do you think they've sort of planned to play against each other more than they planned for this tournament?
I think they have played against each other in the first leg or second leg of DJL. Am I correct? And I think Energy has come on top a few times, but just to
I
confirm,
don't
is
think they
Sinister
had the
5?
exact same lineup then, though.
Yeah, definitely not. But just to
But
confirm,
a lot of the
is
Sinister 5 players were playing from Europe.
yeah,
They had
probably
a
also.
lot of pings, which are they're now back in South Africa, I believe. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe you are right. But yeah, do you think they're still going to come in with a sort of unique strategy for this matchup in particular, knowing that they're playing now the best team in South Africa? If that makes any sense. Like the other games, they're sort of like, we'll pick just meta, and here they're like, well, maybe we need to do, I don't know, some like drow strats or pick up chens, etc.
Honestly, think they'll try their best in this case, because I don't think anyone wants to go to lower bracket in like the players here. Going to lower bracket just means they have to play more games and try even harder. If like they make one mistake, they're out. So I don't think anyone wants to go to lower bracket right now. So I think both teams are going to give their best.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. I think they're both gonna put their best draws forward, hit them with, because whoever wins, this first series, because we can all assume that they're gonna meet each other in the grand final. So whoever pretty much wins this series will have an advantage psychologically for that final game.
Yeah, I think both sides. I can only agree. I think they're both going to be hungry. But I think we're going to come back to this game before it comes live. I think we must just have a few words about the other upper bracket game that's happening tonight. That's going to be XD going up against Origin. And I think Origin have just only been impressing me. Every time I watch them play, they've been impressing me more and more going up against XD. They are very confident of pulling off a third place here. Any insights into that game? Anything that you guys know about this potential outcome? Because I think this is actually going to be extremely close as well in the upper bracket.
Well,
Fire?
isn't it XD that have like a new player playing for them, and it's
Yeah,
it's a
put you
bit
in aid.
different, but it's like it seems to have meant a bit of difference for them just from seeing how they perform now versus a while back. It seems to have made a lot of difference for them, getting the experience in, and I don't know, maybe just getting that bit extra coaching or whatever for what you need. So definitely a strong team for me going forward. They have proven that they have got what it takes. They are still in the upper bracket. They'll be going up against the winners of the team of the game that we just talked about. And I think that if there's a team that's ready for it, or pretty much prepared for it, I think it would be XD. XD would be a team doing their research, trying to figure out how to beat these stronger teams, trying to play their lanes a bit better, and just move around the map a bit more, because it seems like with the stronger teams, you kind of don't know which lane to dominate and which ones you should be sort of considering the sacrificial lane. So I think that for them, they are the team that's still figuring out how to move around the map against these stronger teams, and it's definitely helping them, especially with some of the other matches. So, we'll have to wait and see when it gets to that point. But I do think XD is a very strong team going into this tournament.
Yeah, you say that. They actually seeded number 1, right? Coming from the group stages. And that's just something that might play in their favor. They did take a game off of Sin5. Sin5 is dropping a game to, well, I don't know, DUC.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Is there anything you guys can tell me from that game? Like, how did you? I remember messaging FSM, like, how did you do it? How did this happen? Because we did not expect the game to get taken off of them.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of tackle the game like we tackle any pub. So we picked all 5 heroes that we play a lot in pubs, and that we can synergize well with. And our biggest issue as DUC is the laning stage. So we kind of picked just stable lanes so that we could get through that stage. So we can, because we're really good at fighting. And it just happened that our off laner just started crushing their safe laner. He just FSM just went to town on Aghanim, and we had such a big buffer with that we were able to press advantages and we could fight them constantly. And with that advantage, we just kept winning fights, constantly. So we just slowly chipped them down. But yeah, against Sin5, I don't know. That was, I think, when they still had their European ping. So they're going to be a different monster now. But we were lucky because the second game we got crushed by Castaway. He went like 16 for 1 and just ripped us. So yeah.
Oh, well, you heard it, Jeff. If you want to beat Sin5, what you got to do is pick 5 heroes and win all your lanes, essentially. But
get to the laning stage. Yeah, just get through it.
Survive the laning stage, for sure. Yeah, so they definitely a monster, but they're not untouchable. Sin5 did drop 2 games through that stage. Do you think that's affected them at all? You did touch on the fact that they were in Europe, they had that ping problem. Do you think that this is going to affect them for tonight? The fact that they just had a shaky group stage?
No, I think it just made them stronger.
Yeah, I think they'll bring back some of the experience they learned that side. So
yeah,
I mean, that would probably be one of the biggest things that they would have is maybe some strat that they learned there from what they would consider second or third tier in Europe, and just bringing it here because it worked there. And maybe this scene doesn't have the experience for these pocket strats like they do in Europe.
Yeah, I can agree. They spoke about it. They said when they were playing in Europe, they had this sort of when they're playing with the higher ranked players, which a lot of them do play. They said that there was just these guys don't even need to communicate anymore. It's like they've reached this like new plane of existence as Dota players where there's no need for communication. You just sort of everyone should be doing everything, and they said that felt very weird for them.
Yeah,
and maybe they took something out of that. I don't know.
Their brains are just automatically tuned in on that frequency. Everyone's dialed into some invisible headset kind of thing where you can listen to each other mentally or something, maybe.
Yeah, they're even saying
new age technology.
They don't even draft together anymore. They like go and do coffee and stuff. Adestam said it, I think. He said, obviously this is now talking about energy. He's like, oh, we all go make coffee and we just leave. I think it was Deppy to draft, or I can't remember who drafts with them. And he's like, then we come back and we're like, what have you done to us, sort of thing. And then they move on. That for me is crazy. But yeah, let's dissect this game as deep as we can. Sin5, Energy Esports. I think I'm still torn. I think you guys are going to have to convince me who's going to win this game. I have no idea what direction to go. I was looking at their lineups, and the more I look at it, the more confused I get, the more concerned I get. But the experience brought in by Sin5, you guys, do you believe that's really going to have I'm talking from Europe here, is that really going to assist them here? Or do you think Energy is still that massive monster who've just maybe not spoken so much about their training?
Crimson? I mean, based on the games that we saw yesterday, sorry about that. Based on the games that we saw yesterday, even where me and Snare were going through the draft of these two teams and just going, okay, we kind of predict with the draft, just based on the draft, that this team's going to do a bit better. This team should have the advantage based on ABC, and then the games just don't turn out that way. So, especially, well, game number one was very well played here by Crimson and the team, and then we get to game number two where we also thought, okay, WRG have this in the bag based on just their draft, and then they just like get dominated through the laning stage, and it gets to this Terrorblade with the double damage, getting it and pushing the high ground, and that's one team fight that just changed the game for a team that was surely on the back foot for most of it. And then game three happens, and it's this back and forth the whole time, even though for us, we said the PL is the pick. There's nothing that's going to stop him, and yet the game was still a bit back and forth. It wasn't this dominant thing. When the team started fighting, it was way different. So I wouldn't even be able to say that these two teams have. It's going to come down to the same thing. You're going to go, oh, based on the draft, it's this and this. But in the hands of these 10 players, anything is possible because of their experience and how well they're doing right now. It's difficult to say who's going to take this. Even like I said, even after the draft, I'm not even predicting. I'm just going, well, let's see what happens.
Yeah, I think for me, when I look at these games and try and dissect them, I think tempo is something that we don't talk about enough, right? This meta's tempo has just been very difficult for me to grasp. Maybe you guys will have better insight. I know you guys are pub stars, all right? But maybe there's some insight that you can have in the sort of tempo of the game. Is there sort of a point of no return? I mean, especially talking about your game last night, do you believe that there was a point where there was just no return? Once that Terrorblade just got out of hand, that was it? Or is there that little bit of a comeback mechanic in place? Crimson,
well, in that TV game, no one expected that Terrorblade just to come up and one shot the Abaddon. So in our minds, we got a free racks with that bottom when we picked off the Invoker, so we're like, cool. So we were willing to give up our safe lane racks because we didn't know how our middle racks, because we didn't know if we'll be able to fight a DD Alacrity Terrorblade. But in the panic moments of trying to like decide what to do and what not to do, we just kind of threw it away. So and at that point, we kind of just like realized all of a sudden there was like nothing we can do to this Terrorblade. There was it had hit its fun points. So it's hard to gauge. I think until you see the hero's like maximum strength, it's all the team strategy like play out. It's going to be hard to determine who's ahead or not. So yeah.
Yeah.
But you guys are a bit more confident in game number one, though. I'm sorry, this is not an interview, but I have to ask because when we saw the Wolf Boy come out, it was kind of putting a timer on what WRG had, and then we said that Duck have the advantage with the draft alone. Was it the same for you guys? Were you going, okay, we have game number one in the bag, or is it just okay, this is we just have to get past X timer and then we win?
Well, yeah, for game one, we knew our laning phase was going to be terrible. We got win range of his Kunkka, which is not fun in the slightest. But we knew we had a timer with Sven. With Sven getting his BKB, we could fight. Me getting my MKB and my BKB. Once Sven and us and Windranger both have BKBs, we're pretty much untouchable on the map. And we picked the Windranger to fully counter the Lycan. So if he runs away, I can fully win around and just chase him down. So we were confident with our drafts to take on WRG. Just it was about our timings, and in our second game, we just couldn't get to our timings to fully take them out, and they hit their timings before us and just killed us out.
Are your thoughts laning stage? We're talking in general now. Is laning stage that important for your mid game? Do you think there's sort of like a way back? Because when I was talking about the tempo, I want to talk about the general pattern of the game, right? I remember when I was still playing, which was really the worst Dota you would ever watch when I was playing in a team. But laning stage was super important, right? For us, you had to come out of laning stage something ahead to have some sort of functionality. Is it the same now? It seemed a bit different to me the more I've been watching this recent
I think the laning stage sets a good foundation of where you want to go within your game plan. But if you look at like a team like OG, and when they won the TI, they don't pick their heroes to win their lanes. They pick to achieve an overall strategy. And once that strategy becomes alive, there's like nothing that you can do. Even if you 8k, 10k behind in gold, if the enemy team doesn't have the tools to deal with it, you just lose and you'll start getting back your ground. So
I mean, having a look at even the TI videos, it seems like the last games they were going for a bit more comfort picks as well, and
yeah,
I obviously don't expect it in this game for Energy and Sin5. Like I said, I would expect game number 1 for something sneaky to come out, maybe just to try it out, but something like a comfort pick makes a whole lot of difference in when you're going up against the competitiveness of these two teams. So, the drafts, it's like I want to say it's gonna for these two teams. I expect in these games to go, okay, let's just go with what we're comfortable with. We know that we can win. Give TKC just give him the tree and protector and let him do what he does, or energies, or they're just gonna go, okay, let's ban it out and not give it to him. But somehow, some way, it's going to either come down to something different in the draft, or it's going to come down to something way different in what we see from the gameplay, obviously. But having the comfortable picks is also a major improvement for your gameplay in these highly tense scenarios, because you are very comfortable with this hero. So I think it does make the world's difference going into game number 2, maybe game number 3. So I'm expecting to see a bit of those as well.
Yeah, I do agree. I think that game number 1, we're going to see some interesting picks come out. I don't think we're going to get the standard Energy Sin5, because they're going to be trying to test the waters. That first game is always like that free game where you can try out an interesting strategy. But then I think second, and if there goes to a third game, you'll get very standard like comfort picks for either team.
Yeah, when you're talking about crazy picks, right? Are we talking about
We're talking about Brood
techies, or are we talking about?
I think Brood Huskers more so.
He's tiny.
We saw. I think there was a techies in this tournament? I don't know. Production will have to ping me on that one.
It was.
But I know there was a pudge.
It was some Inex.
Onyx. Okay.
Yeah.
So that happened in low bracket round 2. So we saw. I think there was also a pudge in that game, if I'm not mistaken. But that's weird, right? Do we see that kind of weird from these guys, or do you think they're just too streamlined to even look the way of that disgusting hero techies?
I don't think we're going to see a techies from either of these guys. They're not really pub players, so I don't think they have that pub mentality. I think they've all lost their minds with enough ranked techies to ruin their ranked games. So I don't think we'll see one of those.
Right.
I think what we will mostly want to see is everyone's signature heroes, even though they probably will get banned. I'm pretty sure everyone would like to see, or for myself, I would like to see a Costway Tinker, or even maybe an Invoker in this game, like a top tier Invoker play.
Invoker.
I think we see Adam Tinker. I think Energy will lose. I've got 100% win rates against Adam Tinker in pubs, so I'm pretty confident.
Man, you have 100% win rate against his Tinker.
Yeah, he knows as well. His Tinker in SA pubs isn't the most fun thing.
Okay, well, cool. Let me just get prediction from you guys coming into this game. It's only the two of you left. Unfortunately, we just lost fire to some technical issues. Yeah, power outage. Predictions, gentlemen. Where do you think this game is going to go? Energy versus Sin5. I think this is the most difficult prediction I'm going to have to make this entire tournament, besides the final. What do you think, Crimson? Let's start with you.
Personally, I think it is going to be a 2-1 to Energy.
2-1. Phoenix, thoughts?
I agree with that idea because I think Energy still has the more role-based talent players, whereas Sin5 is just pure experience. So in my eyes, I think it would be a 2-1 to Energy.
Okay.
But I favor Sin5, but I honestly think Energy will take this game.
I'll go 2-1 Sin5. I'll play it safe. I'll bring balance to the force, bring us back together. But gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to throw you over, guys, to the casters, and it's going to be brought to you by Hellbird and Not a Hero. Enjoy the game.
Cheers.
Thank you. Bye.
I think Devin is still muted. Yeah. Right, let's try that again. um, yeah, so I mean, it's pretty crazy we're here right now. The thought of having these two powerhouses of sides matching up this early, it actually is something that I really think we should draw attention to is how important the other matchup is as well, because winning that match puts you in a position where you don't have to run the gauntlet of refacing a side like Energy or Sin5 in the low bracket. So although we're here and this is the big one, I think, just keep a thought for the matches going on the other side. Because if you lose that one, life gets a lot harder, a lot easier. But as mentioned, I'm joined here by Not a Hero, Not a Hero. I mean, how cool is this?
Big hype game, eh? Like massive, massive game. The two giants of SA Dota, probably for the last decade, if you can say. Energy disappeared for a while, but they're back with a star-studded lineup. But Sin5 has cemented themselves as the name in the scene. 2018 champions. They've got players in the team that is champions, but both these teams have got returning champions. Castaway, Adam, Aghanim, all these players have won this tournament before, and I don't think they're going to give anything away to you to let it slip through their fingers again, eh?
Oh, I 100% agree. I mean, there are players here that are still going to be very hungry. I mean, not everyone here. I mean, we spoke to Doom Bunny on the panel. I was blown away by the fact he hadn't won one of these before. So, of course, he's going to be incredibly hungry, incredibly keen to win this this matchup tonight, and of course the entire tournament as it goes. So, and this match probably sets that tempo. I think by taking this particular matchup tonight, your life does get easier because you get to watch your opponents more, you get to relax a little bit more, not and not feel the potential pressure, because there's a lot of expectation that these two sides will meet again in the grand finals, but they always have to get there. And I think that's something that DUC in a way proved, is that they were able to take a game off Sinister 5 in a BO2, so they drew, right? But the point is that there are still some really talented teams out there. I mean, don't write off sides like White Rabbit Gaming and XD in particular, who've obviously done particularly well. And there's always that like dark horse that's that's waiting for you should they go past Energy and XD in the upper bracket anyways. So who knows where this goes? But this matchup so critical.
So, is hunger not maybe a factor here? Like we spoke about Doom Bunny now not having won this tournament and multiple second places, and like from him speaking on the panel, you could see this man is hungry, eh? He was ready to put a title on next to his name and put that trophy on his cabinet. So, well, Castaway both played overseas, so they've made it on the big stage. But I think out of everyone here, Doom Bunny is the hungriest out of all of them. And that can lift your data, hey? That can make you sharper. It can make your reaction time quicker. And like like these two teams have been they split by a hair. Like the panel before us made predictions here, but I'm not too sure what's or like how accurate that's going to be. Scorpio is just the denominator there by choosing the opposite by being safe. But this is going to be tight, Helberg.
Well, fortunately, they can decide that for us. They will be the ones to answer that question. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we are live with NG Sports versus Sinister 5.
Energy Esports versus Sinister 5, Game 1.
Okay, so we're live in the draft here. Snapfire as well as Darkseer banned out by NG Esports already, and the Rubik and Benchels were banned out by Sinister 5 with the first pick, Clockwork. Not a hero, any surprises?
Hero's seen a lot of popularity in the pro scene at the moment. It's a stable pick. We've seen some 3 Clockworks by General in the pro scene, but that is more than likely going to be a POS 4. Undying POS 5. Like, that has been a Sin5 staple. I've seen them practice it, and that's from playing high-level EU pubs, eh? That is from playing high-level ranked. You see a lot of POS 5 Undying. That your POS 5, when he presses his ulti and he hits someone, can amp damage by 30% is massive. It's massive. And that's excluding the Tombstone factor. You have to focus at Tombstone. Early game, it's annoyance. It can turn a whole team fight if it's placed in the right position. But it's just 30% damage amp. A lot of the meta is based around damage amp at the moment. Like we're seeing Veil of Discord being a popular item that's back at the moment. Like Tiny with AAs and Tiny with Veils and Bloodseeker amping people as well. So a lot of it is based around damage amp at the moment. And Dying is a POS 5 that brings that to the table.
All right. Well, I don't have anything more to add on to that, but we do have some more bans to go through. So Mars banned out so far by Energy, and the response was the Morphling with one more ban to come. Is there anything that you think could be like a critical pickup for a particular player that they don't want to have? We've seen, for example, that Dota and Die, a lot of teams have a huge amount of respect for his Enigma. But I'm wondering if Energy feel the same way, or if they're just going to let something like that go through. And if they do you think that that's actually something Sin5 will pick up?
So the thing is that like Adam, this puck pick is a huge flex. Adam plays a lot of puck in the mid lane, but they've also got a pos 4 they can play it, and Doombunny can play it on the off lane as well.
10
So
seconds remaining.
they picked this puck very early. Like puck is not a meta hero at the moment.
5
We don't see
seconds
puck.
remaining.
This is an energy pick exclusively. It keeps their draft flexible, and they've got probably 3 players that can signature it. So well plays a lot. Well is a god tier puck. And I think I saw in the group stages Adam was playing puck in a game, and I think his first or second item was Dagon, and he was just running in the map blowing people up. It was absolutely ridiculous.
Well, I mean, I think also, if I recall, TKC was vicious on that as well at some stage in the past. So, as you mentioned, it's
TKC.
I meant TKC, but the point is, like, you never forget how to play puck. It's
Yeah.
always a hero that you have in your pocket, and I think it's stronger these days. So who knows? Maybe we'll see something really interesting come out there. But as you mentioned, incredibly flexible pick for them. Timbersaw, however, banned up by Sin5 with NG Esports going into their next ban here. I'm so interested to see how this goes. I always feel like the first 2 picks, they don't tell you enough about what's going to happen. You can really start like dissecting where things are going. Like, do you think, for example, we're going to see that delivery service for Lifestealer? Or I think it was a game we cast the other day when we only had like a Void Spirit, and Lifestealer had to pretty much play by himself and get into battles by himself.
So this Lifestealer is an interesting pick. The Euros mechanic has been changed quite hectically. Like when he infests into a target now, he buffs them up quite a bit, and he gives them a 30% extra movement speed. So infest bombs is not just the play anymore. This hero can actually be used to save someone, tank up a tanky offlaner even more, and turn the team fight. Like a good infest can turn a team fight. Like you just heal someone up a bit more, give them that movement speed so they can get out of range safely, and your Lifestealer is so fast so you can get back into that fight pretty quickly. It is a staple pick for Aghanim though. Like Aghanim plays Lifestealer, but these guys play everything. To be honest,
5
like this
seconds
draft comes out
remaining.
and we're looking at these heroes, and we just named 4 people that can play puck on the energy side. So,
I'm pretty sure they can all play puck at this point. I mean, they just, it's probably like a prerequisite before joining energy. It's like, can you play this hero? No, sorry, can't have you here.
Can't join. Scarlet is a good pickup against the puck, early silences. It's also an annoyance pick against Clockwork, because anytime you go into a fight and you don't hookshot the Scarlet Mage, he's just going to drop his ulti on you. So Blade Mail, obviously good item on Clockwork, but up to that point, the Scarlet Mage is a very good counter pick. His silence is one of the best in the game. It's an insta cast.
5 seconds remaining.
Especially against a hero like Puck. Like you don't want him to be able to get up to nuisances and illusory orb and rift, and so the silence against the Puck is it's a very good pickup. Sky is also not a big meta pick. So like we spoke about meta in this tournament, and I think these 2 teams are going to create a meta of their own.
Well, look at that. I mean, Skyrath goes straight into the Legion Commander. That's something we've seen a lot, just in general. That is an old staple, if you will, for even puppy level Dota. So Sin5 wasted no time in picking it up. But you also, I mean, you were the one who was bringing up this to me about how Salt played, and they already saw that the ultimate was more useful than a lot of people might think. Do you want to go into that a little bit?
So a lot of legions at the moment are not going the old drums, blade mail, blink dagger, deso anymore. So your legions are going like Hood of Defiance just to tank him up. So for his first few duels, it's not about trying to kill this oak, or it is trying about to kill him, but it's not about winning the duel. It's about locking him down for the full duration of the duel and not giving him duel damage. So you've got this hero that can lock someone down for like 8 seconds in a team fight, and your other heroes can just decide if they want to fight him or if they want to ignore him. Obviously, they've got a very easily executable combo with the Skyrath Major, so there is kill potential. Blade Mail will be crucial against the Drow as well. But something we need to touch on though, Bane and Legion kind of counter each other. Because if he duels someone and the Bane sleeps the target, the sleep just bounces between the 2 targets.
5 seconds
No damage is really done.
That's a very fair point. Awkward.
But if Bane grips someone, Legion can dispel it with overwhelming odds. So, or press the attack. Sorry, not overwhelming odds.
So is this just a positioning battle. We have a positioning battle to get the win here.
Yeah. So Bay not caught in the ulti. The sleep will bounce, but obviously the Skyrath Mage can then contribute to that. Drow Ranger, very meta pick. I'm surprised. Okay, the Venge was banned. I wanted to say now that I'm surprised they picked up the Drow without the Venge. But Venge
10
was actually
seconds
banned in
remaining.
the first phase.
All right, yeah. I mean, Drow we've
5
seen a lot of
seconds
lately. I mean, it's only actually been a first or second ban really from both sides. So it's amazing to see it get this far down. The one concern I do have for Energy though is their roster is fairly squishy. They don't. I mean, I'd say that they have like some elusive heroes in the form of the Puck, but they do have an answer for Sin5 with the Skyrath Mage. Do you think it should be concerned at all about having a more beefy hero for, potentially something that can stand in the front lines? It doesn't mind fighting against something like a Legion Commander.
So we know Walt plays a lot of Kunkka in the offlane as on 3 for them. So if they do Kunkka here, your Clockwork can start the fights quite easily. And then the Rum is good against
Dire
Duel.
team ban.
It's not particularly great against Lifestealer, letting a Strength Hero into the Lifestealer. But it's a Whelp Kunkka, so you never know. But they need something a bit tankier, something that can team fight for them. Because Clockwork can start these fights, Puck can start these fights. But what is your threat? Your scary ability.
10
And usually
seconds
with Drow, you
remaining.
want like Euros to protect her. You want people that can play in front
5
of her or
seconds
around her
remaining.
to ensure that she's kind of like safe. So
Radiant team
definitely
pick.
need something beefy, something to get into the faces of Sin5.
Well, they're going to answer that question for us because all the bans are was the Invoker and the Beastmaster banned out by NG and Sin5 respectively. And now, well, it's just for these two teams to decide what's going to round out their lineups. And then, ladies and gentlemen, I think I've been waiting for this game for a very
5
long
seconds
time. It's
remaining.
literally like we're expecting. There's this kind of projection. If you were a betting man, you'd be saying that this is like the precursor to the final, a teaser. It's
Dire team
Avengers. The first round of it, and you got Endgame coming afterwards. So let's see what it's going to be. But it's going to be Energy picking up Doom, and Sin5 will have the opportunity to finish this one off. Any
That was a great Invoker ban though. So with Invoker, they've got team fight control. They can stop Bane
10
ulti. They can
seconds
control Puck.
remaining.
They can stop this Clockwork. And you've got Sunstrike with Duel, and it's a castaway
5
Invoker.
seconds
So
remaining.
that was a very good ban. And then Beastmaster on the other side. Why Beastmaster? You think this Legion would have gone mid or Beastmaster middle?
I mean, maybe it was just more in respect to the auras, so they were just worried about dragging a steroid of some sort.
Yeah, I
That
get
could be used, maybe. I mean, Doom, I think, is amazing. I actually think we saw Doom was obviously fairly broken before, but I still think this hero is great. It does so much for you as well. And I think even for something like a Life Stealer, you're reliant on basically that free BKB to allow you to be a true like threat to most heroes in the game. But even though you're probably not the worst hero to get Doom. A Doom, even on the live stream, is very frustrating because then, of course, you just have no time to use that rage.
I like the Doom pick a lot. That's that beefy hero we were talking about. So you can go around the map with Drums, Blink Dagger, and a Centaur Stomp, like starting team fights for them, controlling the game. But there's no real big Doom targets here. Eh? Like, what do you actually Doom in these team fights? Like, Legion doesn't, after he's dueled, he doesn't really care if he's being doomed, and neither does Lifestealer. So there's the Kunkka
Choose your hero.
on the other side. So that's a castaway Kunkka.
I mean, you mentioned how these players can all play all these different heroes. So hey, it's gonna be Sin5 who pick up that hero. At least you knew it was coming out. I mean, you're probably a psychic or something, but
That is a mid Doom. That is a mid Doom, by the way.
sure. I always have like the Vietnam flashbacks about Adestam and the time I had to play mid against him. And he was the one thing I can tell you is that this man can get money fast. And now you have a hero like Doom who is particularly good at getting money fast. I think that's going to be a real hero to watch in this matchup. I mean, hey, the heroes are selected. Which side would you rather play for right now? Ignore the players, because in this case, normally I say this, I'm like, ignore the players because we just want to know how the draft went. But in this case, I don't think it matters. Right? These players are also brilliant. So hey, which side would you rather be playing for right now at this draft?
I think Sin5's drafts is easier to execute. Like, you've kind of got a staple of what you want to do. Your Legion Commander will be dueling, Skyrath Mage will be ulting on top of that. And then if the other heroes react to help to that, your Tombstone and Kunkka both will go down. So, like, their draft is easier to execute. Clockwork can get blown up by the Skyrath Mage in the early game. That is an off-lane puck, so he will be able to move around the map quite faster. And this Doom mid farms ridiculously faster, by the way. Like it gets XP, so obviously he gets the levels to put into his skill points, which will ramp up his gold. He farms the side camps quite fast, and with Scorched Earth, you can harass quite effectively in the mid lane. Kunkka high base region. I think if he gets one bracer and then maybe some additional region, he'll be fine. But I think Sin5's draft is way easier to execute. I'm actually favoring Sin5 after the drafting stage.
All right, well, let's see how it goes. I personally, I think I'm going against a little bit of the flow here. If I had to bet, I have this feeling that Sin5 are going to take this 2-1. I don't know if that's actually, I mean, it's just flipping the dice. I actually have a little dice app on my phone. I think I'll just use that. And if it's evens, I'll go for Sin5 and odds energy. But I don't know, something about this just build-up has felt like Sin5 from the other side that have the edge going into this. But, you know, you can't even say it's a popular nor unpopular opinion. It is one of the closest games of Dota I think we're going to see in a really long time, and it means so much. The outcome is going to be, it's going to ripple through the Dota scene as well.
After this draft, so we know Sin5 has been playing a lot of scrims and a lot of Dota, and like we don't even know who those scrimming partners are. That might be some Europe teams that they met when they were overseas, but like this week when we were speaking to Doom Bunny and Castaway, like most of the nights were like, hey guys, listen, we can't panel or we can't interview, we're scrimming. So we know they're preparing. We know these guys are ready. I'm not sure how much Dota Energy's been playing, but I can't see at this stage of the tournament that they'd be slacking. Like it's just not going to happen. Like these players all want to win.
You know, I had this experience once, and just to kind of double up on what you were saying with Castaway, it was at a time when he was playing for White Rabbit Gaming, in fact, and he was on the up. It was when they were starting to challenge their old Bravado roster, and I saw him outside, and we started having a conversation about Invoker, and I noticed this almost like obsession about the man and how he approached Dota. It is something that is more like built into who he is as a human being than most people, even now it goes far to say, even professional players overseas may struggle to be as almost just part of what Dota is. And I think that he's not the only person on Sin5 that is like that. I think Doom Bunny is another great example, but every single one of these players are absolutely just obsessed in the best possible way with this game. So I totally agree. I think there's absolutely no ways that anyone was going into this matchup going like, you know, we'll just see what happens. This is two Titans squaring off. This is possibly round one. We may have the sequel in just a couple of days. But right now, who punches first, who punches hardest?
The lanes came out quite interesting. They decided to actually try lane bottom. The Lifestealer is solo top against the Clockwork and the Puck. So they're putting a tri lane into this Drow. Drow is not good against tri lanes, but this is the hot lane. They are already starting to control the creeps, which is very, very important. If they can get creep control in this lane, this Drow is not going to be able to see us, especially not with a Skywrath Mage spamming and Undying spamming DKs and concussion shots and arcane bolts. It's going to hurt. Like she already doesn't have a big HP pool, so 1 or 2 DKs, she's going to drop her down to like 400 HP, and then that's 3 spells from the Skywrath Mage, and she'll actually pop. So
have moved the that's like this aggression. Forget the creeps. I just want to stop you from being able to bully me. So Doom Bunny gets a taste of his own medicine. But as you mentioned, look at that creep wave. It is pushed so far forward, and potentially here just for Doom Bunny just to interrupt and ensure that they can't pull it back naturally. And you can see he's just holding out in the neutral camp here just to make sure that this doesn't spawn, limit Mental's options. He's going to sleep him and maybe look for the pull around the side. Is this soon enough? I think he's got this.
No, he's got it. See, that pull from that angle is quite an awkward pull because the creep wave doesn't pull fully back into the camp. They kind of just go and they chill in between the 2 tree lines. So it's still a good pull. They need to try and get this lane back under control. No more tri lane, but Skywrath Mage is going to be annoying this Drow Ranger. She does not have a high HP pool. This is going to be a lane of resources, a lane of regen. And he just got the stick as well. So Deppy flying out the stick for himself. He's ready to yeah, Deppy got the stick.
Well, yeah, he's got to see him though. And look at the damage, as you mentioned, just really able to do a lot of work. And Mental's doing what he can. Does have a Mang as well, so can be fairly aggressive. as you obviously can exchange with that brain sap. But even then, I think it's not about that, right? Like, Doom Bunny here is literally just the decoy so that this Jar Ranger can't get onto the creeper. And on the other side, Dota and I having a fairly good time about this. He's finding a decent amount of farm in the spot lane, which is pretty significant.
So this early pull by the Skyrath has secured him, and obviously like the hero's base movement speed is pretty high. So not even boots securing that pull. He doesn't want to be trading with this Bane though, eh?
Oh,
Like, Bane is
that's actually possibly your first blood here. One last hit will be enough to do it. Donda trying to trade this one off onto Mental, but the slow coming in from Devi means he can't finish the job. And hey, that's one way to turn things around for you. If you're having a bit of a hard time lane, as you mentioned, you get the pull off and then you find a kill.
So Skyrath is trading with this Bane on right click wise because his mana pool wasn't like too healthy. He did have the mango, but Bane's hitting for almost 70 damage a hit, where Skyrath is hitting for 50. Like every right click that you guys are trading, it's not worth because the Bane is gonna brain sap as well. Oh, he's trying to get that pull off. Oh, he got it. Very nice.
And we'll come across the courier though, and potentially interrupting this pull. No, he's not gonna be able to do much about that. Mid lane, oh, that was a solo kill. Addis did not expect that one. Addistam actually managing to win the one. I can't help but imagine that Costa was overcommitting for that kill. Addistam very, very low. And the tips do come out.
I have no idea how that happened though. This Kuko's got double bracer. He's got 1,180.
Oh.
Bang goes down as well.
Top lane, they will pick up Schlinks, and DKC now helping Wolp out against Aghanim here. Of course, he's happy to just take a few of these hits, as he obviously will lifesteal a lot off that clockwork. But at the moment, it does look like Energy are getting a bit of these trades 3-1 early on here.
I'm very surprised by this Kuko kill. Like, he's got double bracer. Like, his HP is high. He's got 4 armor. Scorched this level 2. He's got Doom up now as well. He can, if Castaway misplays, he can kill him. Kuko's level 4, Albert.
Yeah, this is crazy, and it's almost bizarre that it's happening. He's not really shy on last hits or anything. He's just obviously missed the important ones.
Devour, a good spell, eh?
That too.
This top lane, it seems pretty stagnant. They did trade Schlinks for the kill top, but Puck is farming decently, 21 CS. Lifestealer got 21 CS. So this is kind of just a farm battle. It's pretty hard for them to kill this Lifestealer.
Yeah, he's actually one of the better heroes just to deal with those men. Oh, in fact, Schlinks, look at that damage going out to wall. He realizes he can't finish the job, but definitely hurting him here. And as you mentioned, the first run does go the way of TKC and Doom Bunny respectively, and looks like Doom Bunny could be in trouble bot lane again. He actually wants to try commit to this kill though, and he should be able to help out Donda enough just to get this kill, but does he have the damage? Yes, he does. One hit, all that was required, and of course they'll take that trade all the time.
Oh, I thought he was going to get out that stick play, but just too much damage from the Legion Commander. So, not worth. I know your Drow gets a kill, but unfortunately she goes down right afterwards. Has to respawn, come back to lane. Legion Commander is probably going to hit 6 before this Drow gets back to lane, and then they can look at making a kill again.
I'm kind of worried about mid at this point, just because I feel like Addistam's having that kind of start that you can really just start making real problems around the map, because obviously he's got the experience. Obviously he could sacrifice some of that lane control to Castaway to just, you know, make Aghanim, for example's life a lot harder. I mean, if he gets doomed up, there's certainly enough damage between Schlinks and Wolf. So excuse me, between Whelp and the Clockwork to finish the job.
So I feel Doom will have to like use this advantage he has, so he needs to get the strums up, and then he needs to try and like obviously stop pressuring the map, because the Kunkka's role in this game.
Bottom lane, there's actually that sleep that came out onto that duel, as you mentioned, and Doom Bunny takes a world of damage. Mental wants to finish off. He did get some help from Dota and Die though with press the attack, but looks like the Clockwork rotation not going to come in soon enough. But TKC could still be interested in this, because Doom Bunny doesn't realize this has happened, so he can potentially get behind him. Does have the mango and the one charges as well, so no problem getting the mana pool required to take on Doom Bunny. But he goes the right way, trying to help out, trying to just soak up some of those hits from TKC, but he gets both of them in the cogs. Is the follow-up there though? Mental was too far back, didn't want a piece of it. So although TKC did work.
Skyrath Mage, no boots, 325 movement speed. Dumo as well. So, Addistam playing aggressive on this Kunkka, used Doom on him as well. No kill though, he got a rotation in from the Undying, probably soul ripped him to heal him up. But yeah, Doom was used, that is a big usage, that's your first Doom of the game, and no kill from it.
Definitely not ideal, but looks like the puck will go down top. Aghanim, how do you even get that? That's a very strange kill. You don't really expect a lifestealer to solo kill puck.
With just brown boots and a stick. Like, that was, he just ran him down, I guess. Good plays by Aghanim. But yeah, so Castaway's role in this game is not necessarily like a huge damage dealer. He's going to go phase boots and then he's getting a 1 afterwards. But so you want to be playing off this Legion, you want to be playing off the Skywrath Mage, and then your last stealer is going to be your main damage contributor afterwards. Obviously your Tinker will start doing semi-damage, but every time I've seen Castaway play this Kunka, he has gone Ags.
Hold on, Castaway actually could be in trouble here. He's going for this kill into Adestam, but TKC is in support as well. But in comes Aghanim, early rotation from the lifestealer. He reckons this is worth it. Trying to finish the job onto Adestam, will be able to do so. TKC realize with Schlings coming in as well, there's absolutely nothing for him here. Just soak up a little bit of XP.
Oh, they're going to get more. They're going to get the Spain.
Oh,
no.
Yeah, Mental just, I think, outside of that range. In fact, they tossed up the Torrent towards the high ground, expecting him to move that way. Mental will survive in the end.
That was a great rotation by Aghanim, eh? So, like, a lot of carries at this stage of the game would just be AFK free farming in the lane. But the moment this Kunka landed at X, Aghanim's TP was ready. And he was the first hero TPing in. So, like, his TP wasn't delayed. Like, that was a very good rotation. And
certainly worth it. He was highest net worth in the game at the time, and he still is. So
yeah, and he's backed up already, farming away. So that was a very good rotation. Sin5 is ready to play. Scores 4-4, but having a rotation like that from your carry, and this Drow she's not that far behind the lifestealer, but she feels pressured, eh? Like, she TP'd into lane and then she had to run back to base again. Now she's going to the jungle. She has level 6, so her farmer's going to start now.
Well, lane stage coming to an end most likely in a minute here, so let's see how this one works out. That's a great neutral item. I just want to point out, they get the Iron Talon.
Definitely going to go to the lifestealer.
Yeah, I was going to say
attack speed just helps them farm the jungle camps faster. Like, like Iron Talon when this patch was introduced was so bad. Like, you'd see an Iron Talon and you would cringe. Like, it wouldn't give you anything. Like, it wouldn't give you armor, it wouldn't give you attack speed. It was just the basically the neutral kill buff. Now it gives 15 attack speed and 2 armor. Like, 2 armor is not insignificant at this stage of the game. It's a lot, especially on a strength hero.
I was going to say as well, and just accelerating your farm. Lifestealer is one of those cores that do love to just make his way through the jungle in particular. So, very keen to have that item. And of course, as mentioned, went directly to him.
So he is going armlet this game. So the Matomba Man lifestealer build currently that he's been trademarking recently has been armlet into Deso. And the hero just looks really strong. Because like you can switch your armlet off right before you infest, it means you regen up even faster. And it means you fight really more frequently. Okay, so Energy does look like they want to be pressuring top right now.
Yeah, they actually dropped the Dream Call. TKC is also there. They did get the Tombstone down, but immediately will be handled. And of course, Schlings, no one's going to come and save you, I'm afraid. It means that they will be brought down. But Don't Die uses the space, going to move beyond the creep wave, try to allow this incoming catapult to do as much work as possible on this safe lane tower. So also towards mid. This is a good.
This is trouble.
Oh, Aghanim, he goes straight in. He's trying to help out his mid. His Castaway is in a bit of trouble. Is there enough to support him? No. In comes Doom Bunny help out as well, but now you have the lifestealer in a lot of trouble. Doesn't have the enrage either. Trying to back off. A Whelp is on top. One strike finish off. Nice engaged by TKC. Desperately trying to finish Aghanim, but they do get the soul rip off as well. Aghanim now standing his ground. He wants to finish off TKC. In comes Illusory Orb as well, but not into the target they need. Nice deep onto TKC. Wants more Mental, but they will finally bring them. Adestam all alone. There's that duel, buying them time, but they need to finish him off quickly because this could turn around terribly. No, they do manage to get the kill, but Whelp picks up some of his own, and now he's going to turn his attention back towards the fight. Mental trying to bail out as Aghanim and Schlings beam down him, but they won't have the damage required to finish the job.
They turned that so beautifully. Like, I thought Aghanim was dead there. Like, this lifestealer is such a speedy boy. His phase boots came off CD. He ran straight back to the tower. Undying soul ripped him immediately. And the moment that soul rip hit him, he decided, okay, I've got rage. I can turn. I'm going to kill this clockwork. So that was touch and go. Hey, like that's the difference between a good Dota player and a great Dota player. Like, just using his phase boots, trusting your teammates, and instantly turning. Other people would have kept running, eh? He instantly knew, nah, he can turn, he can fight this. That was a massive play by Sin5. Losing the Kunka obviously not ideal, but they salvaged that completely.
Well, I tell you what, this game couldn't be getting closer. 500 experience lead at the moment to Sinister5, and Energy boast a 500 gold lead. But I gotta say, that's a little bit concerning because you do have Doom, and of course, one of his abilities is making those transactions. And if they're only 500 ahead, I would say that gives a distinct lead to Sinister5 early on.
So obviously it ramps up because at level 15, he gets the 120 bonus gold. I just think that talent is way better than the 30 scorched earth damage. So then he scales even faster. So between level 10 and 15 is where the Doom kind of stagnates, but that's also when he's almost at his strongest because your blink daggers around the corner, you can make plays on the map, and then you hit level 15 and your gold just ramps up again. But I just want to say, Halbert, these teams, like, technical Dota skill is insane. Like, 10 minutes came out, the Carty spawned, and both teams were ready to pressure towers. Top tower went down with the Carty wave, bottom tower went down with the Carty wave, and Sin5 wanted to pressure this mid lane with the Kunkka and the Lifestealer, also with a Carty wave. And then the TPs came in and that fight broke out. So they are using these catapult spawns effectively. Like, very, very well, trying to take map control, and both mid towers are still standing. And these mid towers are crucial points in a tight game like this.
So just gonna say, it's beautiful watching these players play, right? There's so many little moments of individual skill. So it's not just the decisions they're making, but it's that you're referring to, but also the individual stuff that they're all able to produce. But anyways, NG Esports now smoked up. They're gonna move towards the Sinister5 jungle. Can they find a big tasty target? Adestam leaving in charge. They do find Shlings, but that's not the one they want. Castaway in the back line. Far better, but he has the haste, so they're going to have to give up on that. They're going to have to settle for Shlings. Once again, no one is saving you. I say this, Doombunny actually rotated, and maybe that's more interest on turning on this one, but you can see don't die.
As that was happening, the Legion Commander and the Sky Earth Mage smoked up at the bottom at the same time, and they went for looking for a target in the jungle. So those smokes came out at an identical time. The only difference is... Oh, wait, Nodal? Is this deal going to happen? No, it's not. Oh.
That was close, though. well felt the breeze on that one, as they say, but... Adestam and friends now make the way back towards winning. Castaway interested in toying with... Oh, he's committing to the Bane. Drops the ulti as well. But he wasn't pulled back. He didn't get for any engagement. And now Warp comes straight back in. Manages to get the decent Dream Coil off as well. Agnem trying to help up. But he realizes he has to back off here. This fight is not for them. And they haven't committed everything just yet. They've used the Doom and everything up, but they still have those heroes very, very high HP. So as far as...
Like, sleep dodge the X. That's what happened.
It's crazy. I mean, that's the thing we're talking about. It's not just the decision making, it's the amazing ability these players have. And once again, TKC felt mental. This is, I mean, he's living up to his name. Adestam, though, he needs some help as well here. On the sidelines, will be brought down. So, in the end, I guess that favors Sinister5. They get, I'd say, a more important, a richer kill.
Big kill. Yeah, it's a big kill. I would have rather given my clockwork there if my Doom survived. But obviously, at that stage of the game, you want to save your teammate. Adam getting pulled off in the river there. I do think Sin5 wants to pressure this mid with a catapult now. No Doom.
They go straight back in and they catch out TKC. They're going to wake him up, but they can't quite do the damage. They're not finding the dual victory that they were hoping for. But TKC, is he still alive? He's going to walk this one off. Looks like he is. The backline, so much damage coming out from depth. The Dream Coil on 3! And now, Sinister5 in trouble. Castaway tosses through the Coco Ram. But it's not going to save his teammates at all. They lose 2. The engagement that they picked not working out. And Aghanim might still be in a little bit of trouble. Adestam watching the cook comes in from TKC and the Cogs. They're healing him up. He's going to turn and burn. Picks up one, but he has to back off aggressively here because, well, he's feeling hungry. Goes in, but he realizes that he can't quite deal the damage he needs to. So Adestam and Co will have to settle for what I still think is a great turn of events, and then they can pressure this tier 1 tower mid now.
This Bane is doing way too much work. Like, that whole duel was nullified, like I said, with the sleep on the clockwork there. Like, the sleep just kept bouncing between them. And the Sky Earth Mage actually, like, all his little, like, spells he was throwing out, because he wasn't committing ulti, was just getting dodged because the sleep would bounce every time before the spell hit them. So, like, this Bane is doing work. He's dodging the Kunkka's X combos, he's messing up these duel plays. This Legion needs to get some deal damage. It's 17 minutes in. We've seen about 8 duels, not a single win.
Well, this Legion is in fact smoked up, and he's heading towards TKC at the moment, but he's going to go back towards mid, where they'll just end it. Okay, sleep that, he says. They find the kill to Mental, but what comes in? Beautiful waiting risk. Going to be able to get out as well. on the sidelines. They got the Doom off as well. Can they make this work? They're trying to bring down the Tombstone and manage to do so. Stinks silence up and once again will be sacrificed. Aghanim and Co realize once more this fight requires them to back off.
No.
Kunkka has been doomed this entire time, but as you heard, that Clockwork ulti went wide, and Welp now, he's silenced up to be brought back into the turret. If they finish, it will be great, and they do just that. Adestam and Co back on the high ground, getting support by the Drow Ranger. TKC though in deep, Castaway and Aghanim, they should be able to find the kill pretty neatly and do just that. So this time, Sin5 get the run of things, and Don't Die still looks keen on this. Not going to be able to bridge the gap though just yet, but Castaway does have haste. Looks like he doesn't want to use it though, doesn't want to overcommit.
No Bane to interrupt their spells, and they just completely take over this team fight. Like that was extremely well played by both teams. This Lifestealer is getting extremely scary. Like he's almost a 10k network. Like he is farming a storm. He decided on the Heaven's Halberd against the Drow Ranger, forces her into a MKB. Doom doesn't really want to build MKB. I guess he can go Ags, which is a break, but once again you can just get disarmed and you just don't use it. So this Lifestealer is getting extremely scary. Heaven's Halberd almost complete. He's 50 gold away, and then he's going into a Desolator. And the moment this Deso comes up, their push potential becomes massive, because the Legion Commander can buff him with press the attack, and Kunkka can ram him, and he just rages and hits the tower with this Desolator. So they have... Sin5 is starting to look scary. It's only a 1k net worth lead. There is a Doom though. But he's been dooming the Kunkka every fight, Halberd. Like, do you think that's worth the Doom target? Like...
Oh.
Just too tanky. Oh, there we go.
So I think he's going to be able to get a chance to doom him this time. Very deep. Aghanim on the front lines. He's going to try and just keep the attention on him as they have to back off. Watch Mental on the sideline. He's been so good on this Bane so far. Totally have to respect, but it looks like it'll be energy that respects Sin5 this time. They don't want to find that tier 2 tower, so they're going to back off.
Yeah, so both teams playing it safe. Like, the reactions by the teams were very well. Sin5 grouped up immediately. When they couldn't kill that Kunkka, they backed away. Like, other teams might have overchased that and ended up dying. Oh, they're looking for a big play here. Sin5 just smoked. Legion, Lifestealer inside Legion.
I actually like this because remember that Doom just popped his first BKB. That's got a long cooldown, so it means if they do take this fight, they do have a natural advantage over that Doom positioning. And it looks like they're going to find Adestam. They can connect on him, and they just absolutely drop the kitchen sink. Adestam deleted. Forget the BKB. He didn't have a chance to even think about it.
They want more, eh? They want more. They're hunting.
And they're going to find a big one. They are trying to track down Depi, but they're going to have to sell potentially for TKC on the high ground. Stinks also interested in Mental. He's going to immediately keep away, and TKC this time will have no options.
They just rush. They just rush right now. Yeah, they're already in the pits. Oh. Like, no Doom, no Clockwork. Clockwork is your... I guess Puck can make some shenanigans in here, but like the problem I'm seeing Energy heavy is they're struggling to start the fights. Like, Sin5 has a clear direction. Like, smoke, we go with Legion Commander. Like, Sin5 need to... Oh, Doom went BKB before Blink Tag. He's not going Blink anymore. He's also going a Halberd. They need some ways to try and stop this Lifestealer from hitting them. But the combos is what's hurting them. It's this dual Lifestealer Infest with Skyrath Mage on top of it. It's just ease of execution. They're executing it perfectly, don't get me wrong. But like I said in the draft, I think Sin5's draft is easier to execute.
Well, Energy taking an interesting route here. They realize that they're up against the Aegis, but they're taking the fight to Sin5, smoked up, and looks like they'll find a really big tasty target. It's Castaway that they engage in here. Out comes the ulti from both the Doom. Oh, it's everyone! 3 ultis for you, Castaway. Survive that. He gets brought down, and although it was fairly expensive, it also buys him a little bit of time against that Aegis.
Okay, that was a lot of commitment. No Doom for 2 minutes. The moment this Kunkka spawn, we're going to see Energy going. Like, they're going to just farm enough for now, wait until this Kunkka's up, and then they're going to start running at them. But just something I want to comment on. I love watching Castaway play Dota, man. Have you seen his items?
Yeah, he went for the Orchid very early. Is that what, I assume that's what you're interested in?
That is a great pickup. It's obviously Bloodthorn, so oh, we got to kill bottom, deal damage on the Legion, kill the Puck. But yeah, this Orchid is a great pickup. He can turn it into a Bloodthorn later on. He's actually not turning it into a Bloodthorn. He's going Daedalus. So teams going S and Y, status resistance, evasion, and then they want to get damage. Very strange. Like every time I've seen Castaway play Kunkka, he's gone kind of like a hybrid build where he gets a Crystallis early, and then you see him with an Ags in the mid game. But he's decided he wants this Orchid to probably stop the brain ulti, try and catch the puck. Like just more tools for their team to secure these fights.
8 knots and full ahead.
Well, you mentioned that there was likely aggression going to be coming out from Sin5. Let's see if they do just that. There are a lot of pings onto Castaway actually, so maybe they're just trying to communicate they want to go. As mentioned, that Doom still 60 seconds off his ulti, and they might run straight into him. How does Castaway always have haste? Always.
Hacks, man. It must be hacks. So there's a smoke up behind their cores. They're probably going to do a wraparound because the Doom is backing away. But that's the thing. Like, you don't need your 2 cores to kill something. You've got Skyrath, Mage, Legion Commander. So, oh, here we go. This is
they know where he is. The smoke popped though, but they were on the low ground, so they decided to back off. There's also this ward here, so obviously can see Doom Bunny. Sorry, Dota and Die coming through. But the 2 supports still in this, so they realize that they're safe for the time being. Top tower was brought down by Aghanim as well, so now they're going to try put a little bit of pressure in this area. I love the fact that this team is just taking over this triangle right now.
They're going to force rotations. They've got their spells up, they've got their Ages. They want to force rotations here. If you're not going to contest this tier 2, we're going to take it. They just use the Fortify. They are at least trying to trade for bottom. DP's impact in this game has been extremely underwhelming. Obviously, we know Drow these days is a pretty hard-hitting carry. Give us some items, let it get online. They draft is just very hard to protect this Drow Ranger. Like this is not a game I would be. I wouldn't want to play Drow Ranger in a game like this. So Sin5 is reacting. Legion Commander just TP to bottom. He TP to the tier 3, so he is still leaving it open for his other cores to TP to the tier 2, not to delay that TP time.
That's the little things make such a difference in this kind of matchup. But they're not going to find much for it. It was a fairly hefty rotation then, because they were all interested in taking a fight there, should Energy have decided to push their luck a little bit more. But remember, they're also having to be a little bit more respectful, because Aghanim does have that Aegis up, and although he's only sitting on half HP right now, he comes back, he can call it a low troll, but the ping's not coming out. They see what's going on. They're going to go straight back into Dreamcore, into a beautiful Cogs's wall from TKC, and now they will find the Clockwork. In comes the Coco Rum, though. They're trying to finish the job here on Castaway. They hold him down, but they haven't been able to do so. Mental now being engaged upon from Aghanim. The duel comes out as well. On the high ground, they're still desperate to finish off Castaway, and will do so. Adesam trying to TP away. Does he have the legs? No, he does not. So they will trade Castaway's life for 3.
Aghanim is playing out of his mind. So other players would have panicked in that situation because he was silenced by the puck and caught on the cogs. But the moment the silence wore off, the first thing he did is he infested into Castaway to try and keep him alive. And just that infest made that they had to commit so much extra time on the Kunkka, and then the lifestealer just jumps out and kills 2 people. Like, he is playing extremely well. His infest usage is on point. He's making this Doom null and void, because usually when you're doomed, you kind of feel like, oh, I'm dead. Like, I'm gonna die here. Like, what am I going to do? But the moment like this Kunkka gets doomed, Aghanim hits people like 3-4 times, and then he infests into the Kunkka to keep him alive. So Kunkka did still die there, but just the extra commitment that they had to
Oh, Don't Die's found a big one. He's found Deppy, and he gets absolutely destroyed as well.
Oh,
absolutely.
So the network is still pretty tight, eh? Like it feels like Sin5 is taking over this game, but the network.
Sorry, Castaway does manage to catch out the puck, but unfortunately for him, Welp got too many skills up his sleeve, and he did use his own yields, but oh no. Nice work there. Imagine he had been caught up by the Coco Rum, but beautiful work, and gets to the bottom lane as well, so he's happily going to farm down there instead. And Welp
is just trying to push out
space.
Yeah, he's trying to push out these lanes. So obviously they know this Drow is not. Oh, Drow actually died. Oh, she died to the duel. My bad. Yeah, so this Drow is not ready to like full on fight. Like she's being popped by these heroes. They need to push out their lanes and try and control this game.
Oh, they caught on Adesam again. He was able to get the BKB though, so he might be able to survive this. They turn this one around. They do have the Fiend Script onto the Lifestealer, and he does not have that Aegis anymore, but they aren't able to deal the damage to finish the job. So he's able to back off, and he just infests into Dota and Die. He doesn't have duel for 30 seconds and not a huge amount of mana, but he does have a couple of 1 charges. That might be enough for Sin5 to back off.
Yeah, so that's kind of just a bit of love taps. Like Bane ulti was expended there, 95-second cooldown still. Doom BKB usage, but he did not use Doom. That's the bright side of it. But his BKB is down to 7 seconds, so that is significant. That BKB is probably just to survive the Skyrife Mage combo with the Legion, I guess. And obviously Kuka and so on. Here we go.
Castaway caught up by the Dream Core. It's just someone he does have some support. Don't die, trying to help out, but the Doom even commit here. They want to make sure that they can finish this job. He's getting healed up by Schlinkso, and this could become a little bit dangerous if they were expecting Don't die. He's going to find Alistam. He's doing a huge amount of damage. They bring in some help, but it's not enough, so they are able to finish the job. Bear in mind, Castaway's still alive, and now he can return fire as well. He's going to drop the Coco run, but doesn't find anybody. But they do get the silence off onto Wolf. He's trying to survive, but explosions will occur as Aghanim manages to infest and finish off the job. 3 for nothing. Again, they commit so hard into Castaway.
How much
but the
damage
sustain was there.
That infest? 45% amp by the Skyrife Mage Silence with 400 damage with with 45% amp on top of it. Like, that was ridiculous.
Dire's courier has been killed.
Well, looking a little bit rough now. Energy, although the scoreboard doesn't necessarily reflect when you look at the kills and the net worth, but they have felt like they've just been unable to really threaten since the 5. And now they're on their high ground, and this is tier 3, maybe the range racks.
Yeah,
Well, the puck is up in 20 seconds.
It's just the ease of execution. This Legion duel is causing so much trouble. We heard Dux talking about Legion Commander as a hero, but that was for WRG. But this Legion Skyrife Mage combo is doing ridiculous amounts of work. Like the Skyrife Mage Silence, which is 45% amp, with a Lifestealer Infest Bomb, which is 400 damage. Like, he hit that puck for 600 damage. Like, just by climbing out of the target. Like, it's a massive amount of damage. BKBs cannot, but you don't really want to be going BKB in this game on puck. Like, he's going Ags. Like, when he has Ags, at least he can control the Lifestealer, like, in some degree.
It does look like he's just going to buy out as well. I mean, he's so close to it, and it is, as you mentioned, very effective against the Lifestealer, and Warp doing once again some good work. Oh wow, mid lane, what are you doing there? They're going to control Aghanim beautifully, and this time surely they're able to finish it. Surely no! He just walks it off, and they want to try and finish the job, but Aghanim's still alive, and they're going to control Adestam, who did come in aggressively. He was desperate to finish the job, and don't die now. They're on the front foot, they want to charge back in. They're going to pull back TKC and finish the job there. Mental manages to survive on the other side, but look at Aghanim. Smile on his face, no doubt.
The armlet toggles just kept him alive for so long. And he's just been X and gone back to base. He's going to come back full HP, or 3/4 HP, and he's ready to fight again. Like, they want to go now. Like, Doom's still down for 25 seconds. They've taken the tier 3. How long till Duel is back up again? Like, Duel is 13 seconds away, and then they can go again. The Skyrife Mage ulti cooldown with this Duel, like they can just constantly fight. And Lifestealer has got his items. Like, he's like, okay, let's go.
They'll go straight onto that range racks, and as you can see, it stands absolutely no chance. They'll get it effectively for free. They do have a decent Dream Call out though, and was that the Agza? Yes, it was. So he did get it. In they go once more. They managed to get the force back, and they just obliterate the Clockwork. He did get some help with the sleep, but they're trying to troll forward anyways. Adestam gets the Doom ult onto Castaway. It's a little bit messy now. Can Energy make this one? Will count for them. They go straight back, and Wolf isn't able to find the engagement again. And now it's turning once more. Sin5 say, okay, let's go. In comes the beautiful tombstone as well. Aghanim trying to find his way, and they're going to find the Bane. So they will find another kill and a Rax here. Energy just keep getting pulled back towards, and although Wolf got off a good engagement there, it wasn't enough.
They just don't have the damage to kill this Lifestealer once off, and then he's kiting until his rage is off CD, and then they're re-engaging. Like, that entire team fight was, listen, just get our Lifestealer out of here, he'll tell us when we can go back in. And no doubt, the moment that rage came off cooldown, the moment he healed up a little bit of HP, like, Aghanim told his team, guys, I can turn, let's go. And they instantly turned. Like, they instantly turned, finished off the racks, killed the Bane. Now Roche is up again, and he's got a DD. Like what more does Sin5 want in this game?
I guess the win, because they're narrowing down on that. And Energy really up against the ropes here. I don't think that the score once again really reflects how dominant it's felt that Sin5 have actually been. I mean, you see all these really individually beautiful plays coming out from Energy, but it's just not resulting in the kills. It's not resulting in the objectives. And Sin5, they're almost like an elastic band right now. They go in, they pick a fight, they get engaged on, they back off, and they're able to just turn it around consistently every single time.
Just slingshot back into those fights. Like I'm a bit concerned about this Doom pick. Like I liked it like originally
Dire's
against the
bottom
Kunkka, and
tower has
he even
been
killed the
destroyed.
Kunkka in the lane, but he just hasn't scaled. Like if an offlane Doom had these items in the game like this, you would have been pretty satisfied. But this is your mid Doom. The puck is out farming him at this stage. Um, like desperately needs this assault cuirass. And he is still quite a bit away from it. This lifestealer is just doing too much damage. Um, and also like these dual Skyrath Mage ulti combos. In the early game, the Bane was enough to kind of deter it, but at the moment, like this Lifestealer is just chunking through any target that's coming forward. Because he can just rage. He doesn't care about the sleep.
I'll say this much though,
Radiant's bottom
bear in mind
tower
that
is under
Dave
attack.
is reaching that MKB. He's pretty close to. Does he buy out
Dire's
here?
middle tower is under attack.
I think he has to.
Radiant's
I
bottom
don't
tower
think
has
if he
fallen.
has buyback with the current items that he has, that they turn a fight.
He hasn't
Unless-
died much. Like I guess maybe he could just commit to it and hope for the best. He is getting the support from his team, right?
Yeah. And
Okay.
they do have tools. They do have tools on the heroes. So Clockwork's got a 4-staff, Bane's got a Glimmer Cape, so they do have tools to help him if he does get into trouble.
Well, they go straight back in and they catch a very, very big target. They bring down the Doom. He's going to buy back immediately, but they can theoretically back out here if they can. They do manage to get the heals off onto Aghanim. He's silenced up and they get a decent amount of damage back off onto him, but Wolf isn't able to just lock them down. And this means that Castaway, although he stepped up, he's going to be fine. They go back in Wolf, so cheeky, but able to get away with it for the time being. Aghanim is straight back and got that Aegis, knows he can be aggressive. Adestam, he gets the Doom off once again onto Castaway, but the fight is happening back up the ramp. They do have the Infest into Schlinks, bear that in mind, but the cogs aren't great, and it means they're able to back off. Puck very low, but able to survive. Decent stun comes out from Adestam, and now they're going to try turn this one again on Sin5. The buyback did come in. The ulti though onto Aghanim's. Can they finish the job though? He's just not dying, but finally they finish him. Remember, he's got that axe. He is coming back, but Deppy going to tie and don't die. The stun once again comes out from Adestam as he's pulled back. This fight is messy once more, but they are holding on here. Energy lose Adestam. He can't buy back this time. They're trying to finish off things. They do control Aghanim with the Dream Coil, and he was immediately stunned though. He was on the edge of it, so they do manage to buy themselves a little bit of time. Deppy on the front foot, gotta be careful though. In goes TKC, gets off a good cock, looking to try and just buy some time here. Deppy deletes one, and Aghanim now trying to find some revenge, and he will find it on Mental as he gets brought down as well. Castaway back in the fray, wants to finish off Deppy and is able to. Doesn't matter, buyback, no he's not, that's GG. Sinister5, they're gonna take everything now.
So, okay, Sin5 was pretty before that fight, but Schlinks might have just won them this entire game. So, as the Lifestealer's Aegis finished, the moment he respawned, he got slept by Bane. Schlinks 4-staffed closer to take the sleep off him, put himself asleep, let the Lifestealer run free in that fight, and he just kept chunking down on heroes. Like, that was a massive play by Schlinks. Like that's a little play that turned that whole team fight. Because that Drow Ranger was doing a lot of damage. And the moment the Lifestealer wasn't slept anymore, she couldn't stay in that fight because he was running at her.
Well, doing what he can here, but of course, there's nothing here. GG is called, and well deserved by Sinister5.
Good execution, crisp plays. They knew what their strengths were in the draft. The Skyrath Mage Legion with the Lifestealer. Like, he went the right build, he went the Armlet into Halberd into Deso. Like, it was just easier to execute. It was such a good game to watch. Like, the little crisp plays by both these teams. It's good Dota, hey? Like, it makes me so happy.
It's honestly just so impressive. And I think there's enough in this, though, because if you read between the lines of it, the execution, as you mentioned, was such an important part of this win for Sinister5. But the individual skill was there from Energy.
Yeah.
There's no ways that you can look at that side and say, like, oh yeah, this is decided. It was convincing by Sinister5. They looked good. They abused what their heroes did and when they had their power spikes. But I would not be, it would be with just in stride if we go to game 3 at this point, because Energy still, as players, they look great. Let's see if they can do it as a team.
Yeah, I would just like them to put Adam on a hero which he can actually have like an impact on the game. Like, he doomed this Kunkka every fight, and then the Kunkka would survive, and then the rest of his impact is him running around with Scorched Earth. Like, you can get that from an offlane Doom. Like, you want to play that mid Doom to snowball the draft, get a lot of items on the hero, and control it. But against this Legion Skyrath combo, It just wasn't happening. And Schlinks hit some insane soul rips that game to keep his cause alive. Like every time Castaway was doomed, Schlinks soul ripped him. Like it was, he knew exactly what he needed to do and he executed it perfectly.
And yeah, I mean, honestly, also look at the other side of the river, though, right? Because I mean, you mentioned these small things that made the difference. How easy could you manage being just those amazing sleeps that were coming in early,
Yeah,
dodging?
that early game was insane. Like I could hear it in your voice for a second. Like both of us were a little bit confused. Like where did the Bane go? And then like I kind of like clicked. Like no, he sleep dodged it, and
Yeah.
he kept doing it. It wasn't just a once-off thing. I think he did it 3 times in one fight.
Yeah, the consistency was what made
Yeah.
it so great. But anyways, we're going to rest our voice for it. We're going to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere because I guarantee you it's only getting better.
It is a culmination of a year-long league. These are the best of the best our country has to give.
Our lives have changed in fundamental ways. As a nation, we've been forced to take aggressive action against an invincible enemy that has threatened our lives and the lives of our loved ones. We have been forced to adapt to a new way of living.
Globally, almost 300,000 new coronavirus cases were reported in the last 24 hours. That is the largest single-day increase ever. In South Africa, the virus is surging, hitting more than 500,000 cases today.
Waiting championship for absolute fantastic Team Fortress League. Atmosphere is absolute. It has been grueling. We're going to see out who comes on top.
Wait, what am I saying?
What was the line? The commentator. I am Jabba. I am a commentator.
Oh wait. Repeat the question. Repeat that.
Do you think we'd see a more interesting selection of heroes and whatnot from Bravado? Maybe something a little bit more serious. Great. So on that note, yeah, we will get straight into the action.
So Devin,
love
what happened?
how-
What happened in that blooper there, man?
You know,
Like-
I was going to say, I love how every single, they tell me it's not every time, but I'm convinced that every time I'm on the mainstream, they decide that they're going to play that one, so they can give me a little chuckle at the end
Oh,
there. Huh?
no, it's so great.
Brutal.
Like, the frustration on your face is beautiful.
I still don't figure out what's going on, by the way. I'm convinced that there's something like really bad happening off camera, but I cannot remember for the life of me. It was also prophecy sometime or something. But okay, enough about bloopers. Let's get back into the serious stuff. If at the very least, just to save me from further embarrassment. But of course, a fantastic series ahead of us. And once more, get dug in, guys, because there is no guarantee that this is going to be a 2-0. In fact, I would actually be surprised. That's one outcome. The one outcome from the series that would surprise me if it was 2-0 going into any of these either side. But Sin5 in this case, obviously, would be the only team that could pull it off. So It'd be a surprise to me
So
regardless.
my main point I took away from the game, and what I'm quite interested to see was that game, because these teams are so contested, and we saw such brilliant players by both sides. Does this a series like this not come down to just maybe the draft? Because we said at the end of the drafts, it looked like Sin5. We spoke about execution; it was easier to execute, and like it's easier to do what you want to do on the map, and they showed it. Like nothing taking away from them, they executed it crisply, but they they used their draft, and it looked like their draft was easier to execute, and they showed how to do it. And does it not maybe just come down to draft? Like if Energy pulls something out of the hat here and has a better draft, then players of this caliber, it can be tight.
Oh, I 100,000% agree with you. I would definitely say if you win the draft here, you're expected to win in this lineup. Like, you know, with these two rosters, if you win the draft, and I would say significantly at the very least, or just like, I'd say maybe like a 15% edge. You have a 15% edge in the draft, you're going to win the matchup. I
Because
think
the
it's that
margins
close.
are so small that having an edge in the draft, I think the Lifestealer pick was great. They banned the Timbersaw because they already had Undying and they wanted Legion Commander, so their bans were planned as well. They took the Timbersaw out there, then Undying kept soul ripping the Doom targets. It was just it was a great game to watch. Like so much.
Do you see the flash though? Do you see the flash on our faces? That's our monitors lighting up because, ladies and gentlemen, that's Sin5 versus Energy Esports round 2.
Energy Esports versus Sin5 Game 2.
All right, welcome back, guys. I am on the edge of my seat. I'm actually going to, because I'm on camera, I'm going to move on to the edge of my seat. You guys can see I'm on the edge of my seat, but it's going to be so good. I'm sad to see Rubicon though, but not a hero. Take us through what you think these two sides might do in this matchup.
So similar bans to the first game. Sin5 took out Rubik Venge. Venge obviously because it sets up the hero like the Drow Ranger, which we saw the previous game with no heroes to buffer.
Team pick.
Like after contemplating that draft, I think they wanted the Doom to go mid, get items early to buff this Drow, but it just wasn't happening. Like the Drow Ranger was farming, she was keeping up with the net worth, but without Venge, she just feels like I don't know, she's not as potent, eh? Ooh, early win pickup. Like that is an Adam special, but I also know TKC and Walt and Mental plays that hero.
I was gonna say, are we doing this again? Are we doing
it
this
again?
We're doing it again. So obviously, once again, it just shows. I mean, what hero we're gonna see and be like, oh, I don't know anyone who plays it. Like they pretty much all play. But I know this particular purple friend is a favorite of yours.
Man, why do we have to see a faceless void game? Like the hero is great, man. Like he's too good.
Remaining.
Like we spoke about this last night. He's got a Weaver ulti as his Q and a
5
double damage as
seconds
his E. It's just stupid, man. Like no hero is supposed to be able to Weaver ulti on like 80% left of the CD. like how much Weaver feel about this? Like the hero must look at Faceless Void and go like, oh come on, man. But yeah, Undying Faceless Void. There's some synergy there. You can drop Tombstone. You can protect it with the Chrono. Into Wind Ranger though, I guess it's not that a big deal. Most Faceless Voids are rushing MKB these days. You see like SNY into MKB, or you see Mask of Madness. But yeah, like MKB on the hero, very strong. His bashes are magical damage, and then you get an additional 100 magic damage from the MKB. So very, very strong hero, very good team fight hero. I am going to say though, I have not seen Aghanim play much Faceless Void. Like I've seen him play a lot of Sven, I've seen him play a lot of Lifestealer. I've seen him play a lot of Morphling, Phantom Lancer, but I have not seen Aghanim play Faceless Void.
Dire team.
Hey, I feel like I have, and I feel like I saw him either in the group stages or I think I only have Carson 5 of the main stage. So it must be in the group stage, but I'm pretty sure I have. But I also kind of feel like Faceless is not like a signature hero. It's not like one of those heroes that I think you need to. I feel like everyone has a player that can play Faceless Void. Is that unfair? Is that unrealistic?
You say that, but for this year, for some reason, I had Fury on carry at one stage playing Faceless Void, and he chronoed my entire team. So, no, not everyone can play Faceless Void.
You know what's funny about that?
10 seconds
I've done that
remaining.
myself, but that's a story for that's a story for another time. But it will really surprise you as I wasn't playing carry. I was playing Rubik, so it was even worse.
Yeah, so they insta pick Tidehunter into this Void. Obviously, that is a hero that can contest the Void in lane for farm. But once again, the bash from the void is magical damage, so it does not get reduced by Anchor Smash. So obviously his physical damage will be reduced, but if you lane him with something that has a stun or a slow, and he gets 1 or 2 lucky bashes off on you, this Tyrant can get hurt. This might be a Wind Ranger tied dual lane, eh? Like Wind Ranger gets a Bloodstone, Tidehunter skills Gush early in the lane, and they kind of just like minus armor and hit you the whole time. So that could be a way to contest the Voice farm. It might also be a good way to
Dire
contest the
team back.
Chrono. If you don't get Chronoed on Tide, you can kind of counter it with Ravage. Not ideal, but there is something to work with there.
What is the right way to deal with this void though? I mean, you mentioned like obviously you can just reduce his armor and just hit him, but he's going to back him. What is like what's the solution to this hero?
So obviously,
10
like at this
seconds
level of
remaining.
Dota, you're never going to be hitting 5-man chronos. Like if we
5
see one this
seconds
game, then
remaining.
amazing. But like your
Radiant
chronos are usually
team
like on
back.
1 or 2 units. So you're like Venge, which was banned out. Obviously, the swap plays Sacrificial Lamb, but then she still has her illusion in the fight. But a hero like Shadow Demon comes to mind, and the hero is not out of meta, but it recently like just became unpopular for some reason. And I still think
10
Shadow Demon is
seconds
great because his
remaining.
damage over time with his ulti, and you can just ball someone in Chrono, or you can
5
even ban the
seconds
Faceless Void.
remaining.
So I don't, if that's a support win, I don't like Shadow Demon win combo. It's a bit, both supports kind of do the same thing. There's no real hero that wants to like grab onto something, but the old Shadow Demon, Oracle,
Dire
Venge,
team back.
those are usually the heroes that counter it. Snapfire, he can just chuck blobs into the Chrono, but that's banned out by Energy themselves. So even Invoker, eh? Maybe Adam wants to play some Invoker into this Void. Like Void does go BKB, but he doesn't get it until quite like
10
mid
seconds
to late game.
remaining.
And if you just tornado him every fight and cold snap
5
EMP him,
seconds
like
remaining.
he's not going to be a happy chappy.
Well, we're going to be fortunate enough to see what
Dire
happens in
team
just a
pick.
second because the bans are out. So just to recap, Sapphire, Clockwork, Invoker, Skyrath, and Darkseer. Banner by NG Esports. The other side of the river was Rubik, Venge Spirit, Morphling, Troll, and Phantom Lancer. So what do you think? Will Energy go something a little bit interesting here, or do you think they're going to keep it fairly standard?
10 seconds
They ban on
remaining.
Invoker, they ban on Darkseer, so like
5
I
seconds
find it quite
remaining.
suspicious that they banned this Darkseer. Obviously they know that Own Die plays a lot of Darkseer, but I've seen Energy snap pick anti-mage instantly against Darkseer. It just makes the hero's laning phase like horrible. Like you can't lane against the anti-mage as a Darkseer. Like you just can't do it. And your anti-mage free farms. Maybe they want to play a bit of a more tempo draft. Anti-mage wasn't in there, so ban it out instead. But
Radiant
let's see what they
team
pick
pick.
up here. Shadow Demon.
Hey,
Yeah.
called it. So,
Faceless
so
Void
on the
Clockwork.
ball there, not a hero. You've been, I must say, you've been good at this. Like, I've been quite impressed how consistently you've been able to get into the heads of the players. So,
I've
hey,
played against him quite a bit though.
fair enough.
Not always on the pleasant end, but yeah, like the Shadow Demon into Void
5
counter is
seconds
great.
remaining.
It also opens up
Dire team
like
pick.
maybe some weird picks. Maybe we'll see like a Luna SD or like anything that benefits from the illusions. I'm convinced this Wind Ranger is going mid now, eh? Like I don't see that I don't see a pos 4 win laning with this tide if you have a Shadow Demon.
Mm.
Because you
10
can move
seconds
Shadow Demon to 4
remaining.
as well and then pick a different 5. Sin5 just went with
5
Bambi.
seconds remaining.
I just had this moment of just thinking of like impetus just like raining into a chrono, and I felt a bit bad.
But like I don't know how you feel, but I don't like Bambi against any of Energy's heroes. Like a core Wind Ranger can kill her. Tyranta does quite a bit of damage to her with Anchor Smash. Gush level 10 talent is plus 80 damage. She does not have a high HP pool. And Shadow Demon can purge her heal if he really needs to.
Mm.
So
Radiant team
it's
pick.
not necessarily like maybe they've got a plan here. Ooh,
Oh
there's
man,
no
there's a
illusion
plan.
hero.
There's
No
a
illusion
plan.
hero. Like I said, Shadow Demon Luna,
Radiant
illusion
team
based heroes,
back.
but Shadow Demon Terrorblade just as good.
I'm honestly, I would be quite intimidated playing against that. To be like Shadow Demon Terrorblade to me has some. Do you remember that time that like meta, or the illusion-based meta when we had all the?
I think I blocked it from my brain because it was horrible.
Well, it
But
existed, but I mean, here's the thing. I just I still see this and just like I don't know. There's kind of a way that I don't know if you experience it all. Obviously, you've been playing as recently as this tournament, so you're right in the thick of things. Where you kind of like almost get like an attachment to combinations and such, where you almost like you can like just identify what the damage feels like before the game's even started.
So something significant here, which a lot of people don't realize. So the standard item on Tyrant first is Vlad's, eh? Okay, and this combo that you're speaking about right now, Vlad's new buff is percentage damage buff, and that counts towards illusions as well. So if they do
Dire
the Shadow
team
Demon
ban.
Terrorblade combo with the Vlad's Tyrant there, these illusions will do quite a bit of damage to the towers, like a significant amount of damage to the towers.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
And then
Let's see if they pull it off.
they don't have much wave clear at the moment on Sin5 side.
Radiant team ban.
Void Spirit is quite a bit of wave clear, but you don't really want to be using your spells to disperse illusions. They spells for killing and getting on top of heroes. It'd be interesting to see if this Void goes the Maelstrom build instead of like the SNY, but I think he needs SNY MKB
10 seconds
BKB
remaining.
against this Tyrant. With
So,
this Shadow Demon, man, yes.
5
so I'm guessing you
seconds
feel that they
remaining.
need some kind of like fairly significant wave clear. What other, I guess, check boxes does that hero have to fill?
You can move this. No, you can't. You've got Bambi and Dying already. I wanted to say that you could pick Winter Wyvern, yeah, and move the Void Spirit to a 3, but then you don't really have a mid laner.
Dire
But
team ban.
Wyvern extremely good against Terrorblade. I don't think they're going to do Wyvern though. We have seen some offlane Wyverns, but I don't think this is the game for it. And Wyvern faces Void as a bit of
Radiant
a
team
wonky
pick.
synergy. They need some wave clear in their offlane or disengage. Like I know Centaur is not a popular hero at the moment, and Centaur doesn't like landing into Shadow Demon at all. But Centaur maybe, Kunkka again, but you play it on Whelp. You play it on
10
Dota and Die.
seconds remaining.
Or Axe.
5 seconds
But
remaining.
once again, Shadow Demon Ball save for the Axe. I don't know. This is a really hard offlane pick. Like if that's not a 3, they could do 3 Void Spirits and pick up another mid.
I don't think this is what's going to happen, but I just want to say, part of me just wishes that the Enigma would come out. Like, I know it's not, right? But just sitting here listening to these disablers that he's speaking of, like, oh, Enigma has disable. He's got Midnight Pulse. He can put that down. And what is it going to be? Let's see.
Shadow
Fiend.
That's
That
a 3
is.
Void Spirits, like I said, and they could pick another mid. So yeah, that's good.
Time Traveler.
That's wave clear as well. That's actually a really good pick for them. It's minus armor with the Faceless Void Chrono. You can combo Chrono with Shadow Fiend ulti.
Remaining.
So the moment Chrono stops, you use the Fear.
5 seconds
Both
remaining.
those spells can protect Tombstone. I'm just not sure where this Bambi pick like fits in. Like it's a bit. I guess she can always get a creep that helps buff up the Void and the Shadow Fiend to push with. She's got a Purge as well. Oh, she can Purge. Oh, what am I saying, man? The Bambi pick is to counter the Wind because they think that's a mid wind. It purges the Wind Run, the enchant.
Gotcha. Well,
yeah.
Doesn't look like it's midwind anymore, if I'm perfectly honest with you. But let's see if energy are if they do commit to that, or if they're gonna go somewhere else with it.
I've seen Adam play Wind Ranger into Shadow Fiend, and he did quite well.
Well,
Ooh,
You may now
still doesn't give the draft away.
it doesn't answer the question, but of course the players will be picking up the heroes in the second, so that will. And it's at a stam on the Wind Ranger. So there's your answer, and you'll be boasting a beautiful new Arcana. Let's enjoy it, shall we, guys?
I've seen him play this matchup. Like he's come out ahead, but obviously it's player based. The person like if he messes up and gets double or triple raised, he can go down, and that's a TKC Lena. That's also a treat to see.
Okay, well, oh man, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna just be perfectly honest. Once again, casters, we get the 3-game buy, so we're allowed to support the team that's gonna be eliminated if they lose. But I actually genuinely hope that Energy manage to take this one back, so we get a game 3, and then whoever wins, I don't care. But I want to see game 3. Can Energy do it? Or are we going to go with a 2-0 to Sin5? Not a hero. Base of the draft, what are you feeling?
Like Energy's draft, way more. You're actually giving Adam a hero that he can do something on the map with. You do have a big team fight spell this time in the form of Ravage. The previous game, their biggest spell was Hookshot or Puck Dream Coil. So they have a big team fight ultimate this game. They have Save for the Chrono. They have Push with the Terror Blade, and then you have Lina. Like if you combo Shackle Shots with Lina stun onto this Void, you can kill him. The only thing that I find is a bit of a mystery factor is this offlane Void Spirit. We know the hero can play there. I would like to see what item build he's going to go. Is he just going to go the Yules and then into 4-star? So I saw General play Voice Spirit and he went Yules 4-star of Lotus Orb. And he would just Yule someone, chuck a Remnant, the person would face towards your team, and then he would 4-star the Oak towards you. It looked like a Batrider lasso. It was absolutely ridiculous. Or if he's just going to go the standard Yules Ags. I think Silences this game is really good. Obviously, Wind Ranger's second item is usually BKB. After MKB, Terrorblade likes to go man. Terrorblades actually don't like to go Manta anymore, eh? But with this illusion draft, it might be good. They usually just go S and Y. But yeah, this is tight. Like both teams have big team fight spells, but I do think Energy has the advantage in this draft. Like there is a clear game plan this time.
Okay, well, let's see how it plays out. Because at the end of the day, we've done enough talking, we've done enough analyzing about the draft. Now it's all about execution, who will come across on top. Aghanim is going to find out Whelp and TKC in the bottom lane here.
This Whelp Tidehunter kind of gives me flashbacks of when Donnie was playing Tidehunter. Remember the Donnie Tidehunter, and every team was just fearing it. Like seeing Whelp on a hero like Tide, I kind of get flashbacks of that same stigma, especially in a big tournament like this.
Well, there's also something about Tidehunters, right? Like I just feel like in any game of Dota, they just have this presence. So it certainly doesn't help when that Tidehunter has the name Whelp above his head.
I like the Tide Lina lane. So Lina is these days Light Strike Array, and then second level being Fiery Soul. It gives your Tidehunter the option of also skilling Gash because your Lina's actually got bonus attack speed. So she does hurt, and she has a Blightstone. So itemized for it. She wants to trade right clicks, especially from level 2. Very, very, I would say it's a good item choice by the Lina. She's also looking to place a ward, probably to snipe some couriers. Just want to see the mid regen. So Adam is rushing that null tally. Probably just going to go one null tally and then into bottle. And Castaway going late ban. Strange though, like I've seen a lot of Shadow Fiends against Wind Ranger, like hold a casual bracer just to try and help with the power shot spam and a bit more HP.
That is a lot. That is a lot of poison stacks.
Still level 1 though.
Oh, he got hit by another.
No, if you hover above the hero, it's 370 damage at the moment. He's still got 400 HP.
It still hurts. It still hurts.
He's fine.
No, I'm dying to the pain. The pain, though. Anyways,
it's a Bambi, man. She's fine.
Oh no, the courier's right there. Does Nick see it? He does. Oh, and it had TKC's tangos on it. So, actually, a pretty significant blunder there. That really hurts, right? I mean, you're like, oh, that kind of sucks. I mean, you want to be trading. You want to be able to do some work in this lane. And now
I love it, man. Like I think in this tournament I've killed about 27 couriers. That was kind of the only role I had in my team: be captain and kill couriers. So like
just collection of roles.
Courier going down, like I tip my hat to that man. I'm like, I know what you just did there. Well done.
Well, unfortunately, we'll be up in 30 seconds. It's not a huge issue. I mean, he's going to get it out. So it just does mean he's going to have to be a little less aggressive.
It's the trigger factor, man. It's the trigger. Like, oh, this Oak just killed my courier. So, okay, this Bambi hurts, eh? So, Mental taking a lot of damage from this Bambi's right click top lane.
Yeah, just being run down. And you also may have noticed that Mental wasn't able actually to run up because he was actually just keeping that troll just in position to potentially body block and deal even more damage. So he was forced pretty much to run back in the kind of painful direction. Let's go with that. Aghanim taking a lot of damage off the one skin. Just drops the time walk and he's A-OK. Shnink's also pretty low.
Drops the Reaver ulti.
The work being done here. TKC and Whelp are controlling this lane nicely in the end. And those tangos are, I believe, on their way out again. So, a lie. Not just yet.
So we've got a kind of a weird laning phase at the moment. So it's pretty hard to kill this Terrorblade top with the Void Spirit and the Bambi. and bottom is kind of in the same boat. Like, if this was any other hero apart from a Faceless Void,
Radiant's
they
bottom
probably had
tower is
pretty
under
big kill
attack.
potential. They can kill on Schlinks, but he's playing it quite. The tree line's been cut down. He's got vision. He can see what he needs to do. Top lane. Oh.
Well, Shadow Demon falls here as looks like mid Alistam also very low, by the way. Castaway doing quite a bit of damage to him. What does he have on his way? He doesn't have region on him, but he does have a courier coming through, and that's got a full bottle, so should be able to at least solve it. But of course, that does mean a 4-minute ruin is going to be very important.
Look at the CS on this mid lane. These guys are tied, eh? Like, this is such a classic matchup. Like, Win, Shadow Fiend, both can spam, both can secure last hits. I do think it's slightly Shadow Demon favor towards the later levels, but obviously if Wind Ranger gets a Javelin early, she can also kill him.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Let's see, what's that I'm going for? Yeah, so actually just wants to null, and as you mentioned, the Javelin, so let's see how it works out. They are going to fight over this route. You can see Castaway. Actually a little bit clever. Adestam goes the other way, baits him in, and looks like...
Oh, but Schlinks. Stole the rune.
I didn't even see that. I was looking the other way, so I see what's going on now. I got totally confused.
Sorry,
if you were confused with me...
I should have called bottom. So they obviously saw the top rune wasn't there, and Adam started wind running bottom, but Schlinks was there to secure the rune control for Castaway. He obviously picked it up to deny it from the Wind Ranger, but like that hurts the win. Like Shadow Fiend still got a full solve and a mango on him, and Wind Ranger is completely out of region. Like this comes down to like these guys are, and Castaway knows it, eh? Like you can see he knows. Like there's no region on the Wind Ranger, and you didn't get any rune because Mount Dying just denied it from you. He wants to harass.
I was actually going to say that it was clever what was going on. Like both teams like realized they needed to get the help in to secure those runes, because it does make such a huge difference. And of course, Castaway now significant advantage here.
A Mental Ghost on top again. It was just a Bambi slow into a remnant from the Void Spirit, and then pop goes the little woodland creature.
Oh, look how low Schlinks is on this bottom lane.
He's having a hard time, eh? Like he rotated for that rune, but he's having a hard time. But he's landing with probably one of the strongest heroes in the game. Doesn't really care, just jumped off damage. So, and he is +5. I guess he doesn't care too much. This Terrorblade's having a farm. This Tide is actually out farming the Terrorblade. The same team though, but yeah. Tidehunter's having a field day.
But they got the shackle onto bottom as well, so they should be able to finish off. The damage is not quite there! Aghanim!
I don't know if you heard the sigh in my voice, but come on, Faceless Void, man.
That hurts so much. That's a rotation from your Wind Ranger as well, so had to make his way all the way bottom. TP'd back mid for sure, but he was already having a hard time mid. I mean, he's now probably a full level behind Castaway, and look at that, he's just bullying him now. And oh, the courier, no!
Has been killed.
Energy, these couriers. No, they're our friends. They're looking after us here.
Animal cruelty, like completely. But yeah, like so, the Void just jumped off all the damage and goes straight back to farming. Like not even affected by that gang. Like that's just the impact of the hero. Like you have to make sure you burst them. Tidehunter is just hit level 5 now, so no Ravage yet. Neither team deciding to use the Cartes in 5 minutes. So I'm expecting a big rotation at 10 from the guys to try and see if they can get some map control.
Dire's
This is actually such a... Okay, really, guys?
Oh my gosh.
I mean... Okay, top lane, Mental actually also going to die for this as well, so I guess he can be forgiven because it looks like they were in fact going behind the tower to engage him, but these deaths consistently top lane, this is going to hurt. I mean, obviously, the Terrorblade is doing just fine, but...
Radiant structures are fortified.
So we've also seen a little bit of aggression here from Energy. So maybe like shaking off that first game and saying like, hey guys, like this is what we really about. Showing some aggression, putting pressure on the map, and an Iron Talent for the Shadow Fiend. Not like he farms jungle camps extremely fast already, but oh, you put it in base actually, give it to the base, which is great.
That makes a lot of sense, yeah. So what do they do? I mean, TKC's hanging around mid. Do they need to get a kill on Castaway? Is that the code to unlocking this a little bit more?
So obviously Shadow Fiend is one of those heroes. If you do kill him, you slow down his farm as well because he loses souls. So just leaving him at max souls for a long duration just means he can farm extremely fast. He catches up those souls obviously very fast with the razors, but like a Shadow Fiend that died early in the game 2, 3, 4 times, it hurts him. It hurts him a lot. What build is he going here on the Shadow Fiend? Is he going to do the Yules build or is he going to do damage? Yeah, he's going Yules. So he wants to be like this instant blow up target, wants to climb onto that win, doesn't want to MKB and just blow her up. So I think that's a very good call by Castaway. He can also solo kill the Terrorblade if he has Blink Dagger Yules.
Well, the Terrorblade's having a pretty good time though, so he's moving towards his own. Looks like we go for the Manta immediately.
But this tight hunter is top net with like, and he is going straight Blink Dagger. They want to play with tempo. So, Whelp deciding to go mana boot into Blink. He wants to make the boot.
Lane, poor mental. Just
yeah, he's not having a good time with this lane.
Yeah, this is rough, and he's having to soak that up because Deppy realizes that life's a little bit hard. He doesn't want to be there anymore. Gonna go and get some farm in the jungle, but of course that means that they're gonna sacrifice that top tier 1 on the safe lane. So a pretty significant objective already taken for Sinister 5 here.
This is the battle of the offlaners, Like, the two offlaners are top net worth. In what Dota game, in what universe is this happening?
You know, fortunately our one, and once again, it's so great to be here. But we're reaching the 10-minute mark, and things are, I would say, fairly even-esque. I think the biggest issue, of course, just being that tier 1 tower in top lane, the safe thing going down, obviously not ideal, and it does feel like...
Oh no, Dippy.
What? I didn't even see that. I didn't even pick that up at all. But top lane, they are going to find another pickup here potentially. Alistam very low, and they do have that Satra as well. And there's enough damage to bring him down between Doom Money and Dota and Die. So some very significant kills. 6-0.
So look at what Dota and Die has done on his Void Spirit here. He doesn't even have boots, but he's got an Orchid. Orchid's on the career flying out. They want to apply pressure onto this. Oh, Chrono.
Yeah, he actually, no, I mean, this just seems cruel at this point, but Mental, does he even die? Super low, he gets support from TKC, but there is also help coming in. Mental not able to get the support he needed because the stun did not connect, and therefore, he actually,
oh, the rush!
Here, surely. Yeah, okay.
They want to get on the board. They want to get on the board. That's what that was about. Like, let's just kill this Void. Like, it is a faceless Void kill, Ravage worth used, and let's get on the board, let's play Dota. So like that was worth. It kind of felt like a frustration play, but that was 100% worth.
It's kind of a strange one for me as well. He pretty much croned to ensure that he got the... Oh wow, look at the damage on Whelp. Welcome to the lane, Whelp. Castaway greets you with so much, and on the back line, Dota and Die goes back in. The stun does not connect either. They do get 2 here pretty easily, and then they're going to get mid-tower as well. Sinister 5 is starting to run away with this, 8-1.
That early Orchid, Doesn't even have boots. Just straight Orchid. Like, they want to put a pressure onto this Terrorblade. They want to put pressure onto this Wind Ranger. They can't get their spells off. Their heroes, like, they're not happy. I'm baffled by this game, Like, this, like, 8-1, 3k lead at 11 minutes.
I do want to say that, like, I do think that, you know, this game is far from over, but at the same time, Sinister 5 are... They're doing so much work early on. They did lose their tier 1 tower bot lane, obviously, when that was all going on. But they'll happily trade that off because they've got their opponent's safe lane and they've got their opponent's mid, which is definitely a net win for them. But
so something that we didn't kind of pick up in the early stages of the draft, like Sin5 is very, Energy is very reliant on this Wind Ranger getting this MKB and BKB. So they can play around Ravage, and then that's kind of it. Like you could probably try and make like little plays with your Wind Ranger and then your
oh, sorry, TKC wasn't able to connect with the stun. I didn't entirely blame him. He was under a lot of pressure. Castaway was beaming down on with the Yules, so he knew if he missed it or let him get on top of him, he was dead, and that's exactly what happened. Castaway actually made it look a little bit easy in the end.
Another one, Deppy's dead. I don't even know what that happened. Did you see that happen? I didn't see that at all.
It was so deep. They do have incredibly aggressive wards. You can see here that Sinister 5 are very keen on watching the movements, but...
So the thing is that like it's very easy for Sin5 to get kills now. This Voice Bear's got Orchid and boots, he can blow people up with the Bambi next to him. The Shadow Fiend is triple raising with the Yules. Like he's got ulti now as well. They're going to look to hunt. Like Mental is trying to get deep vision off. Oh, Adam, is he going to catch this in the bottom river?
He wants a piece of Schlinks, but he's got to be careful because there is in fact Castaway nearby. He's going to commit the ulti to Schlinks, and he should be able to pick this up and actually realize that something's up. He isn't able to finish the job. Goes in with the power shot, but does not connect. Nice dodge. Realized that Castaway was coming, had to back off, and honestly, probably made the wiser choice. Committing to that kill, sacrificing yourself to the Shadow Fiend, definitely not worth.
So I think Schlinks was baiting him there because he popped that ulti at the last second, and that gives you it gives a 40% strength multiplier. So he popped that ulti at the last second to buff his HP pool to survive. He was baiting that. He was waiting for Castaway to get closer.
100%. And of course it was very nearby, but he's nearby again.
Okay, so Energy is kind of holding hands here. Like Energy is kind of holding hands here, and I understand why, but the thing is that like Deppy wants to soak up all this farm, and Adestam wants to get this NKB. He's actually not even going NKB. Is he? Or does he have it? No, he doesn't. He just locked his javelin, and now he's going BKB.
Looks like they might be looking for a fight here. Who's being caught out? There's just Schlinks, and I say just because they're happy just to bring down anything at this point, but Castaway going in bold here, winds up the ulti, but he's controlled by TKC. On the sidelines there is support coming in from Dora and Die. The ulti pops. The fear will latch onto TKC, tries to make some distance, but the damage will be there from Doom Bunny. Energy at the moment need to find
Bambi's
something.
Net worth, Halberd. Look at the Bambi's net worth, please.
Oh my word, it's the same as Adestam.
Yeah, she is hurting.
Radiant's bottom tower
Like
is
they
under
cannot
attack.
fight into them at the moment, and if they do want to try, they need the Ravage there. Okay, so he delayed the Blink Dagger as well. He went mech instead. Oh wait, is something gonna happen bottom? Nah, he's got Orchid. He's fine.
They do potentially try and get him. Well, baiting out a little bit. He's got Mental support, but Mental's only level 5 up against a level 11 Void Spirit. What happens here, Noria? It feels like Energy are just falling deeper and deeper into this hole.
And we have not seen Aghanim on this map for probably like 7 minutes. He's just been farming. He even decided he wants to go Battle Fury.
Dire's bottom tower is under
So
attack.
try to deal with these illusions. This Void Spirit is scary though. Eh? Like it's extremely scary. And you just mentioned it. Mental's level 5 in a 15-minute game.
Dire are scanning.
It's 15 minutes into the game. Like
time is money.
I guess his ulti is not that important this game. I don't know, but yeah.
Hey, so now
he's got it. Yeah. So I just want to look at some items here quickly. Undying, going Ghost Scepter. I guess just trying to soak up some damage. This Bambi's got a hood, trying to complete a full pipe of insight just to buff up his team. Castaway, Scott has Yules halfway to his BKB. So once he's got BKB as well, the moment like these cores pick up BKB, like okay, obviously the Faceless Void is not going to do it for quite a while. But if Castaway gets this BKB, Lina can't control him, Tidehunter can't control him, Shadow Demon's ulti works through it, but like there's very little that's going to do damage to him because Wind Ranger is relying on these magical damage procs from Javelin, and BKB just nullifies all of that.
man, it's looking tough, but if any side can do it, would be Energy Esports at the moment.
100%. They've got so much experience. They just need to try and get their lanes out. They need to try and get farm onto this Terrorblade. We heard last night what could happen with the Terrorblade. So when you're in the lead and he picks up a double damage and just one shots the entire team. So let's hope not to see that today. Like I want him farmed, I want him strong, but no DD one shot please.
Are fortified.
A little quiet at the moment, but who does this favor? Because I mean, like obviously I think the space is being used better by Sin5 at the moment, but there is that looming threat. I mean, as you mentioned, Terrorblades, they're
so
kind of scary.
Obviously you're making space for this Terrorblade, but the other heroes of Energy are holding hands pretty tightly. Eh? They're sharing a lot of XP, they're sharing a lot of farm. We saw this Tidehunter top net with like majority of the laning phase. Now he's almost 3k behind the Shadow Fiend. He's a 4,500 behind the the Void
Dire's
Spirit.
top
So
tower is
they
under
are
attack.
sharing a lot of farm, they are sharing a lot of XP. Like if we look at the levels, Aghanim's level 12, Castaway is level 15, Dota and Dire is level 13. You're looking at level 11 on Adastam and level 11 on World. So the XP is hurting them a bit. Deppy's still level 10.
Bottom lane, are they just going to get a kill for free here on the Deppy Terrible? Yes, they are. This is so concerning right now. Deppy, we just keeps getting picked off with these solo kills from Dota and Die, and it's like the one thing you need not to happen right now. It's like the one thing that if you're injured, you desperately need to go right, and it's not.
Yeah, like that's your hero that you're banking on. That's your hero you're relying on to get strong. Like you guys are holding hands, trying to make some plays on the map, so your Terrorblade can be farming. But this Orchid on Dota and Die, like just doing work. Like if he sees this Terrorblade on the map, he's like, okay, I'm going. And the thing with Void Spirit as well, you've got the luxury of, like, if you do mess up and you see the Orchid is not gonna kill him, you can just run away. Like he's not gonna sunder you if you're using the Simulate or if you're just jumping away with the Astral Step.
Well, they do try to find engagement, but like, well, just looks like he wants to farm. He's decided against it. I'll just farm here instead. But looks like the fight's going on in the back lines instead here, as they will try to bring down that Lina. They're not able to do the job. They go for good shackle, and they're going to commit the ravage as well. Don't die until the back line. Castaway winds up the ulti, and it goes through, and it just sends everyone packing. Well, you're going down too, he says, as Sin5 just dismantle Energy Esports, and they're going to take a lot more than just that team fight. They're going to make this one hurt.
And that was as good as it's gonna get. Like, you landed a stun on that Void Spirit. Like, your Wind Ranger came in, shackled, started channeling the ulti. Ravage came out, they make the Lina to make her survive the Orchid pop. And, like, Shadow Fiend ulti just comes through and it's too much damage. And that's without the Faceless Void, eh? Like, he's just farming, like, not giving a hoot. This game is looking extremely rough. 13k at 19 minutes. They just don't have damage, eh? Like, this Wind Ranger without an MKB looks very underwhelming. I understand the thought process that he needs the BKB, but because it doesn't help he has an MKB and this Voice Spirit just kills him every fight. But they need damage, and it's not coming from their offlaner because he went Blink Mech. It's a rough game, man. Like, Lina went Phase Boots and now it's going Yule, so he's at least trying to pump up some form of damage with right clicks. But it's looking rough.
Let's just call this what this is. Coming to this matchup here, everyone felt that this was the two titans, the two best in the country, and that it was going to be incredibly close. But the honest truth is, there hasn't been a point yet in this series where Sin5 have looked like they might lose. They've never looked like they've been pushed. I don't even think we've seen the limit of this team just yet, and that is honestly terrifying.
Yeah, like if you can play Dota like this and your POS 1 doesn't have to touch a team fight for the first 20 minutes of the game. Like, have we seen it? I think we saw one chrono to the Shadow Demon solo at the earlier stage of the game. That was it. Like, we haven't seen a chrono since that stage of the game. They're just using the other heroes so efficiently. Like this Faceless Void, his team is probably just telling him like, hey bud, you're good, you don't have to join. Just keep farming, we got this. So now they're gonna get Roche. They put it onto Castaway, which is the right play because this Void is not joining fights yet. So Shadow Fiend's got a BKB now, and now he's going damage, eh? He's going MKB next, so he can hit this Wind Ranger if he doesn't pop her, and they fight ready even without their Faceless Void.
That's the thing, is that, bear in mind, most of this game has been 4 versus, I guess 4, because the Deputy Terrorblade hasn't really been involved in any T fights at all, but it hasn't been given an opportunity, and that's the thing to consider. But, well, looks like Sin5 are bringing in the cavalry this time. Aghanim hiding out. Do they even expect this? Do they even remember there's a Void in this game at this point? Tier 2 under siege here.
So the big thing that I'm taking from this is, though, what they need to commit to kill this Faceless Void is way bigger than what they need to commit to kill the Terrorblade. Like, this Orchid on the Void Spirit is enough with a +1 on the hero to kill him. Like, where if you don't burst this Faceless Void with almost all your spells, he's just going to time walk it off, and then his team is probably going to arrive. So the risk of going for these Terrorblade kills is much lower than the risk of actually going for the Faceless Void kills. And they can't, though. They're being pressured too hard. But it's just, once again, it's like an execution thing. They knew what their plan
Are
was.
scanning.
This Void Spirit had way too good of a lane.
Radiant's bottom
But
tower is under attack.
do you think it's... Oh, wait. Adam popped in the mid lane.
I was actually expecting they would look like they were heading towards the Terrorblade. I was actually tracking Deppy for that reason because they actually found them out with the scans. So it felt like NG were aware of what was going on. But Anistam obviously expecting he had a little bit of extra space there. Oh, Schlinks? Can you finish this? 'Cause if you don't finish this, this is definitely going to be... He's not going to finish this. And he's going to be brought down instead. Energy grasping at straws at the moment, let's be frank.
Top lane. Hunting. So I think they might have overthought this draft maybe a little bit. Like I even said the Shadow Demon pick was great against the Faceless Void. But we haven't seen the Faceless Void. Like you picked the Shadow Demon for this Faceless Void. Are they even killing this Bambi? Yes,
Oh, but heads up because this fight's not over. Castaway in the backline pops the BKB. He winds up and he sends Deppy back, but he's not dead just yet. Can he get the Sunder off? Yes! No, not quite! Deppy will be brought down in the Roche pit because he's got no options left. And in the end, Castaway might just kill himself. Not quite. The miss uphill enough to secure his life. And then they only walk away with the single kill on the Enchantress. That happened before the fight. The aggression from Castaway. Man, this guy has a MKB as well.
But that's kind of like signature Bambi, right? Like it takes you so long to kill her, even though she's a support. The enemy team just wraps on you afterwards. This game is very rough. They need to get some damage somehow. Like if they can't even kill the POS 4, POS 5 Enchantress. This Void Spirit has an Agonist, by the way. And he is going Dagon next.
Okay. Reasons. Don't I just want to blow people up?
Yeah.
Sadistic, one might say.
I am going to Orchid you, full combo you with my spells, and then if you by chance survive, I'm going to Dagon you. So...
Dire's top tower is under
no.
I actually know what this is for. Oh, hold on. He actually catches out the wind range, but Anistam able to get out of there. What this is for, right? The Faceless Void at the moment hasn't really been involved in the game. He's only got one kill. He just wants to make sure he stays on one kill. So if Aghanim ever comes with big items, he just make sure he gets those Dagon procs off before he gets any extra kills.
And he's got a proper like Wagamama build on this Void. Like this is very unpopular, or not unpopular, but it's kind of considered a meme build when you go Battle Fury into Ags. I have seen it work. I have seen it been strong, and I have had Faceless Voids where I just wish he had other items. But you take all the Time Walk talents. So he took the Time Walk cast range, and then he's probably going to take the Time Walk cooldown on 20. And your sole purpose is just to Time Walk the entire fight. Get HP back and bash people. Like, it's pretty ridiculous.
Well, that's if he decides to participate. I mean, this is just your insurance policy, right? This is like, you're literally just saying, cool, if we need you, we'll let you know. In the meanwhile, man, you just practice stacking and pulling, or get those last hits in.
I do wonder what Sin5 is kind of waiting for. There is still an objective on the map. There's bottom tier 2, and they do have ages on Castaway. So here comes something's gonna happen in the mid lane here.
Yeah, looks like they are rather keen to take this fight. Welp and Anistam in the front lines, now joined by TKC and Mental. Do they know what lingers in the darkness? It's Castaway.
This Wind Ranger has his BKB up, so... Oh, Aegis is timed. Are they gonna back or are they gonna fight? Yeah, so Wind has a BKB up. She is going for the MKB now. They just smoked. They want to make
They just smoked right on top of it. And they're going to get some information thanks to that illusion, but there's a fake going on because Dubé doesn't realize that he's not alone up here, and they're trying to finish the job, but even he's able to stand tall. And there's your Chrono, and he controls 3, and Energy Esports are being tossed aside because Castaway with that BKB is laying into them, but they do get the Sundrop. Deppy's trying to stand and deliver. In comes TKC from the sideline. Can they turn this? Castaway tossed up into the air. They're trying to finish the job, but they haven't managed to do it. Aghanim stands though, and TKC now tries to back away, but in the end, it was a noble stand, it was a decent stand, but the only that's left right now is Anistam, and he's going to be caught out. No, he manages to get away by the absolute skin of his teeth. Sin5, what are you?
By the Shadow Fiend was pitch perfect. I don't know if he was holding it or if it was still on CD, but that Shadow Fiend ulti came out when the Faceless Void was on, I think, 150 HP. that was... It looked like Energy had it. Like, I thought Energy had that fight. And
Man, it was their moment.
And one Shadow Fiend ulti, the BKBs were off. So he was probably just holding out for the BKBs. He was waiting for the BKB to wear off the Terrorblade. He was waiting for the BKB to wear off the wind. And the moment that BKB on the Terrorblade dropped, he walked away into the tree line, stood behind the smallest little tree you'll see in your entire life, and just ultied and saved his Faceless Void, turned the whole team fight. That was a clutch play.
Looks like they might want a little bit more. And Stan is going to get caught out. Pops the BKB. Says, listen, I don't want this. Don't care. Staying alive. I believe that was not actually. It was just 9 second BKB. I did just a 9 second BKB. But Energy, I'll say this much. There was something in that last fight. I mean, they managed to pick it in a way, but they did get caught out big on the Chronosphere. And regardless, they were able to do something. They were able to stand and deliver, but the reality stands, they weren't able to get anything out of it. And we saw this in the previous matchup as well. When it came down to these team fights, they just weren't able to hit that deafening blow, that one big strike that put Sin5 on the back foot.
Yeah, it's kind of like it feels like you're playing rock, paper, scissors against that friend that just always beats you. And Chrono trumps Ravage at this stage, and they have to commit so much to kill this Bambi. And the thing is, like, if they don't, this is a pause for Bambi, but it's getting... Oh, Adam is down. Dagon in the mid.
I actually gotta say, Don't Die has actually just been horrific.
Yeah,
the man is 10-0-11. Now it's easy to say this because there's only 3 kills on Energy, but this is Energy.
Yeah, this is 27-3 against Energy. 23k net worth at 29 minutes. Like, and we said it, like, this draft looked better than the first game's draft. Like, it just did not work out. This Wind Ranger is lacking damage, still doesn't have the MKB, 30-minute game, and this Void has had free roam, the Shadow Fiend has had free roam. Shadow Fiend's got the same net worth as the Faceless Void, and he went Battle Fury. So the cost away farming up a storm, Aghanim just like having a free game because his team is playing insane. But I hands down feel Dota and Die has, like you said, been playing like a maniac this game. This Orchid Rush has been great. I even like this Dagon pickup. I think this Dagon pickup is just kind of like, it's a bit of a rub your face in the ground type of thing. But it's also, look at the damage. You can get in safely, pop someone and get out.
It makes it look easy. I want you all to bear in mind that he's just done that to one of the most individually capable Dota players in South Africa, probably one of the 1 percentile of all Dota players in South Africa there's ever been, and he's making it just look absolutely easy, and he's doing it to another 4 of them. There's 5 heroes on this map that Don't Die has just been obliterating this game, and one of them is...
And he's committing to this build, eh? Like, he wants to max Dagon and then go, is that an E-Blade?
That's not an E-Blade. It looks like an... I don't even know what if he's going to commit to that, but...
Well, Dagon level 2, Dagon level 3 is coming out. It's on the career. So it's just going to get worse.
There's still the high ground to play for, but 26k. I mean, I'm going to go there. Let's just take a pic. The win probability has been sitting at 100%-ish for about, yeah, that long. And that's long.
So, but let's also speak on that though. Like the Dota Plus win probably does like Faceless Void, eh? It loves Faceless Void and it loves Spectre. So it likes chucking that 90 to 100% when there's a Faceless Void or a Spectre in a team.
Well, there's also the 26,000 net worth advantage,
Yeah,
the 30 to 40,000 XP advantage on hero. I think it's reliable this time.
Yeah, but 19,000 of that net worth is on the Faceless Void, and he's not joining the fights, man. He's just farming.
I mean, you make a good point. I mean, there's an entire unit that's just apparently not in this game, but he has been involved, and looks like Dota and Die wants to go back in. Okay, well, does survive it, but I mean...
That's a tight hunter.
Only just.
That's a tight hunter. Half HP.
That's tight hunter that had to pop Greaves to have the half HP guard.
Like, yeah, that is.
Dire's bottom
that's a
tower
bit
is
ridiculous.
under attack.
Drive by a voice spread zapping. Yeah, they're playing their ground data. They pushed up all their lanes except for top. Go straight into the Roche pit. They'll probably deep push this top lane, and then they're gonna want to go high ground. This is what they were waiting for.
So they don't die, and they also he's picked up DD. What they don't know is that this rush is happening, because They made no attempt towards it. Can they find another? They're actually engaging on this though, but oh, it's going to come in from the side. Do Sin5 want this fight? The engagement wasn't there for Energy.
Well,
Such an elusive hero.
popped meta. He popped meta for this. So they need to do something. Oh, this is so rough. This meta is down for 140 seconds. And Sin5.
Do they know though? Do they see the meta being popped? Because maybe that might work in their favor. If they don't see Deppy, they don't see the metamorphosis, maybe they don't realize, they don't feel the need to force the issue. But if they take this fight without metamorphosis, if Deppy shows himself, Sin5 have won this Dota game.
I agree with you. I think if Sin5 saw that meta was popped there, they would have been running much more aggressively. Or they're just waiting it out.
I mean, it could be that too. If they know that this is down.
Yeah, like that's go time. Even if they have Ravage, that's go time. Your 17,000 net for Terrorblade, the only hero with like real farm on the side of Energy, doesn't have metamorphosis. They're going together. So
oh, look at the lines. Look at the lines. Just push it all in.
Pushing the lanes, ignore bottom. We don't worry about bottom. Just push in the lanes.
Out of stamp on the high ground. I'm gonna try find a little bit of reprieve. Gets off a decent shackle, but there's no ways they're going on that. Bear in mind. Okay. Mental has to work so quickly there to save TKC because he was effectively dead. One more second, he was down.
He was 100% dead. The tempo that Dota and I is pressing these buttons with, like he's hitting the ulti, popping the orchid, getting the dissimulate off. Like, and then that Dagon is coming right afterwards, you know this.
Okay. I guess you'll just do that instead. He's caught out of stamina again. Dota and Die comes back in. What's the buyback? Only buyback in the game's on Undying. They're gonna have to wait this one out. Whelp needs out bad. He can't stay here. If he gets, you can just die though, right? Like Dota and Die can just go on top of
Bottom
him.
lane. Oh goodness, Chrono committed. Terrorblade's down. No buyback.
Yeah, that is. I'm pretty sure we're going to see the GG. I mean, they waited it out a little while last time, but
Aghanim
50 seconds.
Bottom. He instantly to be bottom. He saw the Terrorblade pushing there, like trying to get a counter Rax or something out of it. Used Chrono, just popped him, and he's joining his team again. And by this stage, if the Oaks aren't buying that, they're probably realizing that they don't have buybacks. They're going to keep pressuring. A little bit of glimpse of hope though is the tier 2 bottom is still standing.
Well, they're going to go in on this. Whelp actually went in. They're trying to find something. They're going to lose TKC though. And Whelp trying to just evade, but Cost will wind him up again. And in comes Aghanim. He gets to stun. Whelp, can he survive? He's so low and he will just make it up barely. But it's enough. But he commits the Ravage. They're trying to buy time, I guess. But they lose Adesam as well. The GG is in fact called. Sin5 just absolutely eviscerate Energy Esports. And no one predicted that. No one on the panel, no one in the cart. And I tell you what, no one realistically in our entire community would have predicted that Sin5 would have been that dominant. That was scary.
That was dominant. Like the first game, they knew what they had to do, they did it. Like you said earlier, at no stage at these two series did it look like Sin5 was going to lose at any stage. That was extremely, extremely dominant. That's a scary ripple that they just sent out to the SA community, like to the SA Dota community. If you want this title, you need to come past us.
I'm honestly sitting here. And I think I want to ask the question, but I'll hang on to that. I'll hang on to that. So don't go anywhere because I really want to ask one question. I believe we'll have a player interview coming up in a bit, and I'll ask it then. But I just want you to know that sincerely, this question I believe to be the case right now, and it's got that much like emphasis. I've been here for a long time, and what I saw today was different. Let's go with that. But let's talk about how this affects the entire tournament, because let's assume for a second that this is just a realistic expose on what Sin5 are capable of. Let's say that they are in fact that much stronger 100% of the time than Energy, and that's unrealistic. That's not a fair comparison. Could have been an off night, could have been not the draft that they needed. They could be hanging on to stuff for a potential grand final later.
So I'm going to comment on that. Do you think Energy looked like up to it tonight? I don't know. Like was Sin5 that dominant, or was Energy was it draft related? Was it just plays related? Like I don't know, but I didn't see like a clear plan from Sin5's draft, from Energy's drafts. My apologies.
I guess the problem is when were they allowed to play Dota? Not a hero. Like at what point do you recall that Energy were actually allowed to do much of anything. When we saw
Yeah.
those engagements in game one, they were always chasing up until the point that Sin5 were able to turn. And if you watch really high level, if you watch like the pros, the international guys, when they play, that's like something to do. That like poking, that like that push and pull to find the fight that was for you.
You're testing to see, no, I can go here. Like it's kind of like you kind of like trying to find that opening. Like you're pressuring and pressuring and pressuring, but it's controlled pressure, it's safe pressure. And
And this is
man,
the thing, right? We saw Energy try to do it. It was very clear in the first game when the game was a little bit more even. But every single time, since the five knew when it was their turn to push, and every time they pushed, they took everything. And that to me is like one of the hardest things to know about Dota. It's one of the most technically difficult things to understand is when are you actually stronger? When can you actually win those fights? And since the five, they got it 100% of the time right. And that is terrifying.
I have never seen in my entire Dota career that I've seen Walt play and played against him. I have never seen him go 0-3-2 on a Euro. 0-3-2, and he's a Time Hunter. He's got a AOE contributing spell. Like,
well, he contributed to all the kills. I think that's the problem. I mean, it's honestly quite a.
I'm baffled, man. This is I did not expect what I saw here. Don't die, Hellbird. What was that?
I think that's the thing that's scary. Is that I mean, bear in mind that when we look at the individual skill levels of these players, for example, I think when you've asked the players for a really long time, they felt that Wolp's like the guy. Like he's the guy in this tournament that so many players respect as potentially South Africa's absolute best and one of the best we've ever had. So it's not like they're playing against players that don't have high quality experience in high stakes environments. We're talking about people that have incredibly high and brilliant understandings of this game.
Well, I
But
don't
didn't
know.
matter.
I don't know if Dota and Die went overseas with their squad, but like he's immortal 830. He's in the top 1,000 of players playing on the Europe servers, and like he showed that in this series, like that Void Spirit game, that Legion game, but not just him by himself, especially on that Legion game, like you said, like that little push or that pressure that you put. He knew he knew Scarlet Mage, I'm going. Told his teammate, I'm going here, you blow this oak up. Like the communication, the movements between them, the timings between their spells. And on this Void Spirit, like he was top net worth, I think, at like 8 minutes into the game. And it's not like he was laning against the easiest hero in the game. He was laning against Terrorblade, which has high armor, hits you quite hard when he has meta in the lane. But they just kept picking on the Shadow Demon, and like what a performance by the man. That was insane.
100%. I've actually reached out to the players as well because they're due for a winners interview, but I get the feeling they're
celebrating.
they're celebrating a little bit hard. So I've reached out and we'll see if we get a response. I really do want to have a chat to them before we go, but let's take the opportunity whilst we wait just to reflect on what's going on here. I mean, this does mean something else. We're totally blown away by this, but this means that of course, since the five progressed to the winners bracket final. I'm not sure the result of the other matchup, but that would be between XD or Omnius.
So I'm just having a quick look. They are still in game. I'm specifically looking at B. He's level 20 Shadow Demon, so that game is still going on. So I don't know if that's game 2 or 3, but that series is still happening.
All right, so it looks like that still remains to be determined. But of course, that's an absolutely terrifying prospect of having to take on Sinister 5 at this point for either side. I got to tell you that much. But of course, that also does leave the lower bracket in harm's way as well, because Energy are not what you saw tonight. They weren't given the opportunity to show exactly what they're capable of. And there's no doubt that in that lower bracket, we're going to see them take out some of that rage on some of their opponents. And there's some pretty decent teams down there. Do you think they are ready for the storm that's coming their way, though?
So Sin5 made Energy look beatable tonight, and a lot of these dark horse teams that have been playing really good Dota. NX is one of them. They've been playing extremely good Dota. if NX's guys watched tonight's game and they looked at energy, especially players like Yappa, especially players like MD, Sir somebody, those oaks, if they watch tonight's game and they go, so okay, energy is not unbeatable because Sin5 made them look very beatable, like very, very beatable.
I hear exactly what you're saying. It is 100% the case. But hey, I think we have got a hold of Castaway, so I think we are going to be able to have that winners interview as well. So for those of you stuck around,
So
good news.
Just a quick update. The XT Omnius game, it's 1-0 to XT at the moment. Second game is 45 minutes in, but Omnius has a Meepo and they're 4K ahead.
I'm sad we're getting to miss a Meepo game.
Well, it's 66 did call it, eh? He did say he was going to bring it out. He's going to bring out some of the cheese.
All right. Well, talking about bringing something out, we're going to bring our Castaway. He's actually in our waiting room now, so let's get him in here and have a conversation with the man. And I don't think we're going to have a camera for him because all a little bit. We'll blame them, but we'll forgive them because of the game that they just played. but you know, even without a webcam, let's get this man involved. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Castaway to the broadcast. Hello, sir. How are you? Castaway, are you there?
Hello.
Hey, there we go. So a slightly delayed response. How are you feeling right about now?
I'm feeling good. Hey, just glad that all the practice paid off, and we played quite clean. Game 2 was a lot cleaner than Game 1, so glad for that.
Very clean, very clean. You guys had a clear plan. You had the heroes to do it, and you executed it perfectly. Very well played.
Thank you, thank you.
So, I actually only have one question. I want to kind of end it there. So I'm going to let Not a Hero ask everything he wants to possibly know, and I'm just going to ask you one question.
So I've just had a few questions. So when they first picked that, I've actually got a few questions. But that first pick, Wind Ranger by them, did you know that was going to be Adam Wind? Because we know he likes the hero, and I have seen him play it against Shadow Fiend, and you guys last picked the Shadow Fiend into it.
Yeah, so basically, when they first picked one, obviously it's a flex pick. So I was thinking like this obviously could go middle. This could go pos 4. We thought it was pos 4 because it's the first pick, but I'm pretty comfortable playing SF into one runner. Like the lane's pretty SF favored until she gets javelin and ulti. So, but once I get Yules, she just dies and she struggles to farm BKB.
Yeah,
So,
and you guys forced him into delaying his MKB as well. He actually locked his javelin and went into BKB first, which just makes that he has no damage.
Well, it's like the Tide and the Winner struggle to farm at the pace that the SF and the Void do. So we were super happy scaling for like another 15-20 minutes.
Yeah, Aghanim didn't join anything for like I think 50 minutes of that game. He just like sat back and farmed, and you guys had so much pressure. And then Travis, Doom Bunny, no boots, wand into Orchid. Was that solely just to
Oh,
shut
you
down
mean Dota and Die? Dota and Die.
Yeah, sorry.
Dota and Die is he's just a Don, you know. Like you can't hold. He's like the Chad of all Chads. When he gets going and he has a good lane, like he just pings, 200 gold to Orchid. I'm in my lane having a good time, you know. I'm like 1,000 gold from Yules, and here's Dennis. 9 minutes in, guys, I nearly got Orchid. I'm like, okay, cool. Dennis is popping off, you know.
So was that solely just to like, okay, now we can kill Wind Ranger the whole game. Now we can kill Terrorblade the whole game.
No, that's I can kill anyone the whole game. Like this is Dennis's Dota game. Like this is exactly what happened.
And then the Dagon follow up just to rub it in the face a bit. I'm going to Orchid you. I'm going to Dagon you, and then I'm going to blow you up. So
that's the Dennis specialty. Yeah.
No, that was beautiful to watch. And then my last question before I give you over to Devin. So there was a team fight that you guys took in their triangle, and the Wind Ranger just picked up a 10-second BKB, and the Terrorblade just picked up a 10-second BKB. And you guys ran in. He landed. Aghanim landed a very good chrono, but the BKBs were still going, and you just kind of did like a little waddle, hid behind the smallest tree I've seen in my entire life, waited for their BKBs to come off, and then you Shadow Fiend ulted and turned the whole fight. Was that kind of a preemptive movement, or was it just reactionary?
Yeah, so we were controlling the triangle, and we knew like that's the way to win against like TV. He runs the farm there. So we saw the BKBs come out. We pinged them. We saw them on the ward. But I was like adamant that if we just get TB down to like 60% HP, we can chrono and finish him off. But as the fight started, I see Winona coming from the back, so I went on him. Aghanim jumps in, chronos like 3 or 4 heroes, but there's no damage. And then the fight kind of develops, and I'm seeing this TB, like he's popped his BKBs in the fight. So I'm thinking I'm pretty strong at BKB. MKB, I have MKB as well. I hit this TB, and he just starts chunking me, and I get like nervous. I use myself, and then I just thought, okay, the only way we live is if I juke into some tree and
This
ult.
little tree is my savior.
Yeah, it's just
Okay.
it's like when you play a lot of SF, like I love the hero. I've realized that you just have to get this Requiem off in fights. It changes fights. Like the fear
Yeah, no,
really changes the fight.
like your faceless void at that stage was on like 80 HP.
Yeah,
And
it was touch and go, yeah. And
yeah.
you can just like bait them in, and luckily they didn't have vision, so glad it paid off.
Yeah, no, it was a massive play. It turned that whole team fight, and like I was baffled by just the awareness that you had. Very, very well played.
Thanks. Like I got really scared though. Like when the TV chunked me, I was like, "Oops, this is not
I'm
looking
happy,
good."
I'm happy you know what I'm talking about, because a lot of players, when you have these types of interviews with them after the game, they're like, I can't remember that.
Oh, no, I remember that fight clearly, like because we had such good vision as well. But I must admit, like hats off to everyone in the team. Everyone played really well this series.
No, you guys played extremely well.
We've been practicing really hard, and especially the support duo for me, like the warding and the calls was really good from both Nick and Caleb. I mean, I give Caleb a lot of slack, but yeah, he also played really well.
No, you guys played extremely well. The Scarif Mage Legion filthy combo worked out well. But yeah, like execution, and it was crisp. Devin, what I'm handing over to you.
All right, so you go very far back, actually, as far as like South African Dota 2, Dota 2 history in particular. I can tell you that Bravado Motion was a stronger team than any team that preceded in Dota. So Dota 1, Dota 2, Bravado Motion was the stronger side, and you guys were able to beat them, but potentially say you weren't able to beat them at their peak when you were playing with White Rabbit Gaming.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but arguably, right? But between then, you've played against sides like Beat Pro. You played against sides like the previous incarnation of Sin5. You've played for Goliath Gaming. What I saw today was very different, and I want to know, do you think that this Sin5 team is the single strongest Dota team there has been in South African history?
That's quite a statement, because I think there's a lot of aspects around strength and around good Dota play. But what I'll say is, thanks to Nutritech, we are really strong, and we are performing really hard in our games. But I think to answer your question, we have the tools and the abilities for sure
So
to do
Travis,
that.
let me put
By
some
far.
let me put some context or perspective on top of this question. You just played Energy, like the other team in this country, which is seen as a giant. You played against Adastam, you played against Shoal, which used to be on a team with you. That's Whelp. Like these are extremely talented Dota players, and you guys made them look extremely beatable. You got these games are good, but like let's be fair, you guys were dominant. So
Well, yeah, but I mean, I think a lot comes down to like we're on good form at the moment. I think we've already found our little play style in the meta. We've worked really hard at it. I don't know how hard they have been practicing. Obviously, I don't know. I'm not in their team, but yeah, I think we also had great drafts. I think the second draft was a bit wonky. Like in my opinion, it didn't make that much sense in the meta. At least like how I feel the meta is being played.
I think you guys won both drafts.
Yeah, I think so. Dennis did a great job. Dennis is a very good drafter. I kind of put down the drafting reins. I just want to focus on my role. But yeah. I think to answer your question,
You really hold on. Just
just say
my soul left my body moments ago, right? What is it? Is you said there's a lot of mechanics to it. There's a lot of elements to what would make the best team. But you've been there. You've seen all those elements. You've lived through that history. Would you be willing to say that this is the best team?
I think we haven't reached our peak yet, like not even close. So if I think yes, it can be, but like I don't
ask again in 6 months.
Yeah, like if God willing we stay together for another 6 months or 12 months, I think we can really like do some damage not only in SA but in Europe. That's like the goal, and
you
internationally.
guys looked extremely scary. Like from the quality that I saw you guys play tonight, if you're talking about internationally in Europe, if you guys take this as a foundation and move into that scene, you're definitely going to make waves.
Well, see, that's exactly the plan. Like someone said in the chat, the three of our teammates didn't go to Europe for a spa holiday. You know, even though it's a lovely resort we're going to stay at. But we're going there again soon when the whole COVID and stuff calms down a bit and we're allowed to travel. We'll be going for a certain amount of time to boot camp in Europe. This time, all 5 of us. So. I think then you can really see some even bigger growth.
So Travis, just to give you some context as well before we love and leave each other, XD just beat Omnius 2-0.
Okay.
So obviously you guys are playing XD next. Any thoughts about that?
I just remember XD as the mid laner who plays Monkey. He once destroyed me. I was Ember and he was Monkey. He's really good at Monkey, and he's really good at another hero. I forgot. Oh, it's just Monkey,
Magnus.
I think.
Magnus.
Oh yeah, but I've never seen.
I'm gonna give that to you for free. He plays Monkey and Magnus.
Okay, yeah, but like but memes aside, the team obviously must be pretty strong. But we've lost them in the past, like 1 game in a best of 3, and yeah, they're definitely not to be underestimated. Thank you.
Yeah.
But I think that we were mainly preparing for energy, but we treat every opponent the same. There's someone in the way. And you got to move them. So we'll do definitely that.
Awesome mentality.
Right. Well, although I probably have to resign after what you've done to me, I must say congratulations on an absolutely amazing and special win here today, and best of luck in the grand final. Oh, sorry, the winners bracket final first.
Oh,
and
wow,
hey,
okay.
the winners bracket final first, and then who knows, maybe the grand finals beyond there. But I mean, yeah, it's been a fantastic night of Dota, guys. There's a lot more still to come here at the Telkom VS Gaming Dota 2 Championships. Promised you this year would be special. Still yet to be proven wrong. It's been a fantastic night casting for you all. Thank you so much, Not a Hero, for joining me. Thank you to all the production friends that are involved as well. And thank you to all the viewers who came through. I know there's probably a ton more in game as well, but to see that many viewers on stream for a Dota event is also fantastic. So, that note, let's get out of here. Let's enjoy the rest of our evening. And I'm sure our friend Castaway here would love to go celebrate with the team. So enjoy that too. So
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
All right. Good night, everyone. Cheers and goodbye.
Cheers.
Yeah.